Chapter 234. Wait. Just as Xie was about to rush in impatiently, Su Yun suddenly shouted out, "What's wrong with you now?" Wang Jie said impatiently. "Su Yun, are you afraid?" Zhang Jiulu could not help but mock him. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If they did not grab hold of it, how could they be satisfied? Especially Xie. For the sake of saving her brother, she had already given up everything without a care for her own safety. She did not want to waste any more time. Ignoring Su Yun's words, she immediately took out the scissors and cut the protective barrier around the Ling Tai spring, then rushed in. Zhang Jiulu, Wang Jie, and Feng Linlang followed closely behind. Seeing that, Su Yun's eyes wavered. He actually retreated, no longer participating in the mission, and left alone. "Humph! You're weak and afraid of death. Someone like you wants to fight with us? Dream on. Trash." Wang Jie saw that Su Yun was actually retreating and immediately spat out a mouthful of saliva and scolded in disdain and rushed into the Ling Tai spring. Who are you people?" The two guards noticed the group of uninvited guests and immediately yelled out. Before they could shout, a big blade with evil chi slashed onto their heads. The evil blade was thick and powerful and forcefully sliced the two evil realm guards into two halves. Evil blood and organs splattered all over the ground. "Not satisfying enough," Wang Jie shouted, and kept the thick and huge evil blade, and continued to rush towards the Ling Tai spring. The four evil realm experts rushed into the Ling Tai spring water area, only to see that at the moment there were already jade bodies lying on the ground, a large number of naked evil realm women lying on the ground, looking weak as though they were paralyzed. And in the middle of the group, the half-naked three-link almighty being was moaning weakly. He was a short and fat evil realm person. His head was bald, his eyes were filled with evil fire, his stomach was big, and he did not look good. Although he did not look good, but no one dared to doubt his strength. Seeing the three-link almighty being lying on the ground, the four people's eyes lit up. As expected, they fell for it. Wang Jie was the first to lose it, and rushed over and bellowed, "Hand over your life." A blade fiercely slashed towards the almighty being. However, just as Wang Jie's broadsword slashed down, his entire body convulsed. An indescribable feeling of being torn apart spread through his body. In that instant, he felt as if his internal organs were being crushed by something. His strength stopped abruptly, and he fell from the sky, his aura dissipating. The almighty being who was groaning on the ground suddenly opened his eyes and laughed out loud. He extended his palm out and fiercely stabbed towards Wang Jiwu's chest. Puchi! The almighty being's fat arm instantly pierced through the vile king's chest, and a black heart was pulled out. Wang Jiwu's body trembled violently as he spat out a mouthful of blood. "You want to plot against me with just you? You're overestimating yourself. Ha ha ha." The almighty being laughed sinisterly. He kicked Wang Jiwu's body, causing him to fly up and crash heavily on the ground. His chest was empty. He twitched twice and died. The seventh stage spirit soul realm cultivator fell, just like that. "This is impossible." Xie, Feng Linlang, and the rest stared with their eyes wide open, their faces pale white. They could not believe what they were seeing. Wang Jiwu was a seventh-stage spirit-soul realm cultivator. How could he die so tragically? Even if Wang Jiwu and the almighty being were 3 stages apart in cultivation, he was still a seventh-stage spirit-soul realm cultivator. Even if Wang Jiwu used a sneak attack, he would not be able to kill him. What was going on? Xie's eyes were wide open. She felt as if her brain was broken and was unable to think. Dong! Just then, a dull sound came out from the side. Following that, Feng Linlang's body was fiercely flung out. He fiercely crashed into the wall beside him, causing the wall to crumble. He spat out a mouthful of evil blood. It was extremely miserable. Xie's heart jumped. She anxiously turned to look at the person beside her. Zhangju Lu raised his hand. The evil force on his palm had not dissipated, his face sinister as he stared at Feng Linlang, his eyes filled with madness. It was obvious that he was the one who did it. Feng Linlang was also an expert, but he could not defend against the sneak attack from the person beside him. Jiulu, what are you doing? Zixia looked at him in a daze and asked, What am I doing? Can't you see it? The almighty being crawled up, his face revealing a sinister smile, and said, Zhang Jiulu had long betrayed you guys. Betray? Don't tell me Wang Jiwu. That's right. Wang Jiwu had long been poisoned by Zhang Jiulu, and it was in the wine that he gave Wang Jiwu to drink. If not, how would I be able to take care of him so easily? Truly a group of idiots. You don't even know that your own people are relying on me? You want to assassinate me with just that? Aren't you overestimating yourselves? The almighty being's eyes were filled with ridicule. Zixia's expression was filled with grief. She turned her gaze and stared at Zhang Jiulu with killing intent, and roared, Why did you do this? Why? Zhang Jiulu released the evil force in his hand, turned, and looked at Zixia sinisterly. Isn't it because of you? Because of me? Zixia's eyes widened. Zixia, I know you don't like me, and don't like me. You will not be my dual cultivation companion, but do you know? I have liked you for a very long time. I want to have you. No matter what method I use, I want to have you. Zhang Jiulu's eyes were filled with a fanaticism that could not be extinguished, and said, I have already communicated with Master Three-Link Evil Almighty Being, and he has already promised me, as long as I lure all of you here, then he will give you to me. I will let you be my woman. You're dreaming. Zixia spat on his face and scolded, Zhang Jiulu, Zixia, am blind to actually believe you, asshole. Even if I die, I will definitely not dual cultivate with you. You better give up on that thought. Ha ha ha, in front of Master Three-Link Evil Almighty Being's mystical technique, some things are not up to you. Zhang Jiulu did not care about Zixia's rage. To him, very quickly, Zixia would become as docile as a kitten. But the Almighty Being did not seem to have that intention. But he stood up, his eyes staring greedily at Zixia, his tongue sticking out, licking his dry lips. Zhang Jiulu, you have good eyes. This Zixia is not bad-looking. He is indeed a good material for dual cultivation. Ha, Master Three-Link is flattering me, Zhang Jiulu said, his eyebrows twitching, feeling that something was wrong. The Almighty Being walked towards Zixia, his eyes burning with passion. Speaking of which, such a beautiful dual cultivation material is for you to enjoy alone. Isn't that too unkind? Why don't you let me have a taste first? How about that? Hearing that, Zhang Jiulu's face changed. Master, Zhang Jiulu, you will follow me from now on. I will not mistreat you, understand? The Almighty Being said impatiently, and then waved his hand. Watch them. Yes. A few roars came out, and a large number of evil realm people came from all directions. They all rushed towards Feng Linlang, Zhang Jiulu, and Zixia. In a moment they landed beside them, fiercely grabbing onto their arms, subduing them. You lied to me. You said Zixia will be mine. You actually went back on your words. You lied to me. Zhang Jiulu struggled frantically, screaming out loud, but it was useless. Since when did I go back on my words? The Almighty Being laughed. Wait till I finish enjoying this. Won't she still be yours? With that, the fat figure walked towards Zixi, step by step. Damn it! Zixia was furious. Her eyes suddenly flashed with an evil light, and 2 light arrows shot towards the Almighty Being. But, although the Almighty Being was fat, he was extremely agile. His speed was so fast that it was scary. With a tilt of his head, he dodged the arrows. How could such an insignificant skill touch me? The Almighty Being sneered. He raised his hand, and a hand seal covered with talismans flew out, striking Zixia's body. The chi on Zixia's body immediately weakened. Didn't you poison my spirit essences? Hee. I will give you a taste of your own medicine, and let you have a taste of the consequences of my spirit essences being paralyzed. The Almighty Being opened his mouth wide, his eyes filled with joy. He then walked over, extending his hand out to take off Zixia's clothes. But in that moment, Zixia's mouth suddenly rose. She stopped struggling and allowed the Almighty Being's hand to extend over. The fat palm was about to touch Xia. Just then, the almighty being's hand retracted as though it had been electrocuted, and the fat body immediately fell to the ground, twitching nonstop. Master, all the subordinates of the almighty being were shocked and immediately gathered over. Seeing that, Xia laughed out loud. How is it? 3-link, you got it right. I have a mystical technique that can reverse any poison or technique that I have. My spirit essences are crippled, and now your spirit essences are also crippled. Do you feel good? Ha ha! Xia's eyes were filled with pride. The almighty being was enraged. He was supported up by someone, and roared, "Destroy her body. I want to imprison her soul and spirit, and torture her for eternity." Yes. With that said, a few blades and swords slashed towards Xia. Xia closed her eyes, no longer resisting. At that moment, she had no strength to resist. Let's do this then, Xia thought. On the other side, Feng Limlang also closed his eyes. At this time, who could save them? So, the sound of air breaking came out. Just at that moment of life and death, 2 sword lights descended from the sky, like a pillar of light falling from the sky, straight towards the almighty being. The power of the swords flickered. Seeing that, the evil beings' faces all changed. They immediately retracted their weapons that were slashing at Xia and rushed towards the almighty being to block. Dang dang. 2 crisp sounds came out. The sword lights spun in the air and directly landed on the ground. Everyone looked over. It was actually a green and a white sword. The 2 swords stabbed into the ground, releasing a bright light aura. Who is it? The almighty being, who was perspiring in cold sweat, shouted. The evil beings beside him passed him a pill. He anxiously swallowed it, adjusting his inner strength, removing the backlash from the medicine in his body. But it was not over. In the next second, the sword intent descended from the sky, pouring down like a heavy downpour, hitting every single evil being's body, especially the almighty being. In that second, it was as if a huge mountain was fiercely smashing onto his shoulders, causing him to be unable to breathe. How could the sword power be so strong? What sword was that? How could it have such a terrifying sword power? Who exactly are you? Come out if you have the guts. The almighty being clenched his teeth and shouted. But before he came out, the sword intent became denser and denser, more and more astonishing. So just at that moment, a large number of sword whistling sounds descended from the sky. The fierce and mournful sounds resonated out. Everyone raised their heads to look, and with one look they were shocked. In the dusky sky, hundreds of sharp swords descended from the sky, piercing down with an unstoppable force. Chapter 235. Block it! The almighty being screamed in agony. The surrounding evil realm people all took out their treasures to block the incoming 100 swords. But all the swords were like hailstones smashing onto the roof. Clanging sounds could be heard continuously. The power was dense. The destructive power was terrifying. In the end, they pierced through the roof, broke the treasures, and directly slashed down. Such a strong power. The almighty being turned pale with fright. But seeing the endless evil chi on the sharp swords, inside the evil chi, there were actually countless of evil spirits. The evil spirits brandished their claws, grabbing onto the evil realm people, crazily ripping them apart. A few of the weaker evil realm people were unable to withstand the power. Their bodies were instantly ripped apart by the evil spirits, their blood splattering all over the ground. The scene was extremely sinister. Following that, a cloaked man with evil chi flew over while stepping on a pitch-black sword. His entire body was surrounded by sharp swords. It was extremely terrifying. He rushed over, the swords revolving around him frantically, and when he landed, he went straight for the 2 spirit soul realm experts. Stop him. Give me some time to recover. Wait for me to recover. I want to personally refine him. The almighty being roared. Wait for you to recover. Su Yun snorted, holding onto the death sword. He swung it horizontally. Sword drawing, evil beheading. Bang! A half-moon-shaped sword chi flew out, as though it wanted to split the entire Ling Tai spring into 2. Insignificant skill. The spirit soul realm evil realm person was not afraid. Holding on to his own evil spear, he swung it, releasing a large shield, wanting to block. But the moment the sword chi attacked, it suddenly broke, transforming into countless of pitch-black evil claws, pulling towards the shield. Sigh! The shield broke into pieces. The evil realm person could not dodge in time, and his chest was ripped apart by the evil claws. This is the evil sword technique. A sharp-eyed evil realm person had already recognized the weird sword technique and immediately shouted at Su Yun. You are from the evil sword sect. I am from the limitless sword sect. Su Yun snorted. He swung his sword, and 100 swords surrounded the evil being. In that moment, the storm of sword images assaulted him. The 100 swords surrounding him frantically attacked, one after another slashing his body. The evil chi on the sword transformed into a sky full of evil spirits, crazily attacking him. The evil realm person was initially able to resist, but after a few breaths of time, he could not hold on any longer. His defense was in a mess. His body was struck by a few swords. The evil chi invaded his body. His chi crumbled, and in the blink of an eye, he lost all ability to resist. Chi la, chi la, chi la. The sharp blades and evil claws clawed at his body, slicing off every piece of flesh on his body, like a hungry beast gorging itself. In a moment, a black set of evil bones appeared, and the evil person's entire body was sliced off. 3-link evil almighty being, and the rest were so scared that their hearts were thumping. Their souls were about to leave their bodies. What kind of mystical skill is this? So terrifying? The 3-link evil ability screamed out loud. Su Yun did not reply him. Holding onto the death sword, he rushed towards another spirit soul realm expert. The evil being was an intelligent person. From the chi that Su Yun was releasing, he was unable to analyze Su Yun's strength, adding that Su Yun was able to kill the spirit soul realm cultivator. The evil being could only conclude that Su Yun had a strength similar to the 3-link evil almighty being. Knowing that he could not defend against him, the evil being clenched his teeth, turned and ran, his speed extremely fast. But once he soared into the air, a large number of flying swords chased after him, their speed extremely fast. Wrapping him tightly like a dumpling, waves after waves of miserable screams exploded out. In the next moment, another set of evil bones fell from the sky. Su Yun gently waved the death sword in his hand, and the 100 swords swirled up a sword wind, returning back into the sword sheath behind him, disappearing. Although Su Yun was only a second-stage spirit soul realm cultivator, after activating the heavenly crystal, his strength had exploded to an unprecedented level, and killing the evil beings was like slaughtering pigs and dogs. Zixia, Zhang Jiulu, and Feng Linlang were completely petrified. Isn't he only a second-stage spirit soul realm? Why is he so strong? Zixia muttered, her eyes filled with shock. Su Yun held onto the evil sword and walked step by step towards the fat, almighty being. The sword tip was pointed to the ground, releasing waves of evil chi, and indistinctly, the pitch-black sword cry could be heard. Who exactly are you? The almighty being anxiously stood up, retreating continuously, looking at Su Yun and shouting in fear. At the moment, the numbing effect of the spirit essences on his body had not been removed, and his cultivation was not high, and he was definitely not the opponent. Don't bother about who I am. Su Yun swung the death sword, and the pitch-black sword flew into the air, spinning a few rounds, and in a blink of an eye, it landed in front of the almighty being. Seeing that, the almighty being immediately stopped in his tracks. Hand over the heart of glazed glass, and maybe I can let you live. Su Yun walked towards the almighty being and said calmly. Heart of glazed glass, the almighty being's face changed. You came to find me because of this. Do you have anything else that can attract me? Why didn't you come with them? The almighty being asked anxiously. You know it's a trap? Why should I come with them? I'm good at sneak attacks, but not good at defending against sneak attacks. Also, your acting skills are too bad, such a big Ling Tai spring, and there are only a few people protecting it. How can that not be strange? Also, you did not shout for help when you were poisoned, but fell to the ground moaning. Why? Can Zixie's poison still numb your throat? Su Yun said indifferently. Zhang Jiulu's cooperation with you is full of loopholes. Zixie and Wang Jiwu are eager for revenge and can't see clearly, so they have nothing to say. I'm afraid Feng Linlang has already sent some clues. If it was anyone else, they would definitely not fall into your trap. Feng Linlang was a calm person. He also had suspicions of Zhang Jiulu, but his desire for revenge was not weak. Even though he knew it was a trap, he still wanted to take a gamble. But Su Yun was different. He was just retrieving something, not taking revenge, and was not that anxious. I only found out about this on the spur of the moment. Zhang Jiulu suddenly found me and told me about it. I did not make any preparations, just a few 6th or 7th stage spirit soul realm existences. Do I still need to prepare? But I never thought that there would actually be such a powerful being like you. Miscalculation. This is my miscalculation. The almighty being gasped. He rolled his eyes and shouted at Su Yun, I can give you the heart of glazed glass. Can you promise not to kill me? Of course. I will do what I say. When I limitless, speak. My words are as good as gold. Su Yun raised his head, his mouth revealing a sinister, evil smile. The almighty being had no choice. He secretly clenched his teeth, lowered his head, closed his eyes, and started chanting, only to see his fat chest suddenly lighting up with a light aura. Following that, a bright diamond-like stone came out from the almighty being's body. He grabbed onto the stone, looked at Su Yun, and extended his hand out. Su Yun walked a few steps forward, grabbed the stone, looked at it carefully, and nodded his head in satisfaction. It truly is the heart of glazed glass. I've already given you the heart of glazed glass. Now can you let me go? The almighty being's voice was still trembling as he spoke, but his hands were secretly accumulating energy, a ring on his finger slowly activating. Of course, Su Yun laughed. My goal is only the heart of glazed glass. I don't care about anything else. Now that I have the heart of glazed glass, I should leave. Goodbye. With that, he turned and was about to leave. Killing intent and anger flashed past the almighty being's eyes. Ever since he became the almighty being, no one dared to treat him like that. But just as Su Yun turned, he suddenly turned again, and in less than a breath of time, his palm fiercely slapped onto the almighty being's chest. Bang! The almighty being, who was still accumulating energy, did not expect Su Yun to suddenly make a move. And after receiving the attack, his entire body flew out, but before he landed, a black sword pierced through his chest from behind. The almighty being's entire body trembled. His eyes opened wide as he stared at Su Yun in a daze. Su Yun raised his head, the evil smile on his face becoming denser. His body moved, transforming into a mist, rushing towards the almighty being. In that moment, the 100 flying swords that flew into the sword sheath were unsheathed again, neatly surrounding the mist. Like a roaring evil dragon, it struck the almighty being. Roar! The berserk swords roared, and the almighty being was directly swallowed by the evil dragon, formed by the sharp swords and evil chi. When the evil dragon dissipated, the almighty being's body was already riddled with holes, broken into pieces. His heart and chi channels were completely destroyed, and his entire body fell to the ground, breaking into pieces. The almighty being died just like that. No one expected that Su Yun would actually go back on his words. Su Yun stopped rushing forward, his hand holding onto the evil sword. The evil chi around his body rippled out. His aura was extremely imposing. Cruel, vicious, treacherous. Treacherous. That was Zixie and the rest's final evaluation of Su Yun. So, the person who had always been a man of few words was actually such a person. Zixie perspired in cold sweat. Zhang Jiulu's legs were already weak. He did not know if he should escape or stay. Feng Linlang laid on the ground, gasping for breath, his gaze naturally on Su Yun. At that moment, the three of them were breathing hard. They did not know if Su Yun would make a move on them, because in the evil realm, even if he made a move, It was not a strange thing. The strong had the authority to take away the lives of the weak. Su Yun walked to the corpse of the almighty being and picked up the storage ring on the ground. He then turned and walked towards Zixie and the rest. Zixie's eyes were wide open, looking at Su Yun in shock. "You want to kill me?" she muttered. "No." Su Yun laughed. "Without you, I would not have been able to kill the almighty being so easily. Furthermore, I am not bloodthirsty." Phew! The three of them heaved a sigh of relief at the same time. But in the next second, a cold light flew out. A head flew into the air, the evil blood spewing out. Zixie's eyes widened. Zhang Jiulu's body twitched twice and fell to the ground. "But I don't like traitors." Su Yun's mouth curved into an evil smile. He lightly held onto the death sword, kept it in the sword sheath, and then turned to leave. Fickle. Is that an evil realm being? But he was not an evil realm being. Chapter 236. After obtaining the heart of glazed glass, there were only 3 treasures left. Su Yun, who was standing on the death sword in the sky above the evil realm, was deep in thought. With his speed, if everything went smoothly, he could return to the Sky Martial continent in a year or 2. But all of the items were extraordinary, and all of them had to come into contact with important figures, and without the heavenly crystal, it would be difficult to contend against them. But after using the heavenly crystal, even if he channeled spirit chi into it to speed up his recovery, it would still require at least 2 months, and the next item might not be able to help him. Su Yun sighed and took out the storage ring that he picked up from the 3-link almighty being from his waist. Releasing a bit of pure divine spirit chi, he broke the weak seal inside the storage ring, then opened it up and rummaged around inside. When the seal was broken, the space inside the storage ring opened up, and immediately a stench leaked out. Su Yun frowned and looked inside. However, just one look was enough to stun him. Inside was a large amount of human or beast limbs and innards. They were all rotten and emitted the stench of corpses. Other than that, there were many broken treasures and equipment. All these things were just broken. Without question, the 3-link almighty being had left an imprint on the treasures, and when he died, all these treasures would be destroyed. The reason why he did that was because he did not want his own things to be used by the person who killed him. How narrow-minded, Su Yun said shamelessly, and rummaged through the storage ring again. Suddenly, a sparkling and translucent white pearl appeared in his line of sight. Among all the dirty and rotten items, the pearl was extremely eye-catching. "Is that a material?" Su Yun took out the pearl, and then took out a few equipment and materials that he did not need, but could exchange for other items, and kept them in his storage ring, and then carefully looked at the pearl. There was a faint evil spirit aura overflowing from the bead. After noticing it, he hurriedly released his own aura and followed the thin aura into the bead. After searching for a while, he found that there were several arrays that were only the size of a grain of rice stacked on top of each other inside. They covered the interior of the pearl, like 5 interlocking rings, every imprint alternating with each other. It did not affect the operation of the array formations, and, at the same time, bestowed new power to the array seals. "What an exquisite array seal!" Su Yun exclaimed again and again. He was already full of admiration towards the person who carved the array seal. He knew quite a bit about formations, but as of now, among the formation masters he knew, there were not many who could make such an exquisite formation. He didn't know what this formation was for. Su Yun released a bit of profound spirit chi towards the array seal and activated it. As the profound spirit chi entered the array seal was immediately activated. The entire bead lit up, and at this moment, the bead emitted a mysterious power. Like lightning, it spread throughout Su Yun's body. Whoosh! A strange sound rang out. What was going on? Su Yun anxiously looked around, but there was nothing around, and when he looked at the bead again, it was completely undamaged. Su Yun was stunned. Could it be that this pearl was just a trick? There was no practical effect at all? Or was it broken, unable to take effect? Su Yun was extremely suspicious. Just as he was about to keep the pearl, he suddenly felt that something was wrong. Why is this pearl floating in the air? No, it was not floating in the air, but his hand had disappeared. Su Yun immediately looked at his body, only to realize that his body had become empty, and his entire body had become transparent. Invisibility. These two words flashed across his mind. In just a short while, even the pearl had become transparent, and in the blink of an eye, it had disappeared without a trace. Other than the death sword at his feet, ordinary people would not be able to see Su Yun's figure. Su Yun could still clearly feel the pearl in his hand. He stopped the profound spirit chi on the pearl, and very quickly, he and the pearl revealed their original forms. I understand, so it's a treasure that can be used for invisibility. Su Yun was elated. He pinched the pearl and looked at it carefully. If that was the case, why would they need to set up such a complicated array? Could it be that the invisibility technique was of a higher level? Who knows what level of existence it could hide from? It should not be low, right? Su Yun placed the pearl into his storage ring and happily flew towards the Evil King City. Evil King City, the largest and most flourishing city in the Evil Realm. It was also the fastest city to understand the Evil Realm and had the most information. Of course, the Evil Realm people from all over the world gathered here, and it was also the most chaotic place. Bada! The death sword landed on the ground, and Su Yun jumped down from his sword. He kept the death sword back into the sword sheath, carried the death sword and the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword, and walked into the city. It was said that the almighty being of the Evil King City had already left 1,000 years ago. He abandoned his followers and disappeared without a trace. But the people who stayed behind still worshipped him, and no one dared to behave atrociously here. It was just that as time passed, the city gradually rose up with many tyrants representing their powers. Protecting the Evil King City was a set of strange underground rules. Although the place was filled with killing and blood every day, it still attracted countless of Evil Realm people. Evil King City had 2 gates. The one in front was the Tooth Gate, which was extremely huge, like the mouth of a demon. On both sides were pitch-black walls filled with evil chi, and on top of the walls were a group of Evil Realm people patrolling. At the entrance of the Tooth Gate, there were 2 rows of Evil Realm soldiers. If one wanted to enter the Evil King City, he had to pay a tribute, which was the so-called toll money. Luckily, the tribute was not much and only required a few materials or a treasure. The treasure's grade must not be lower than the purple level. Su Yun's stock was not bad, and adding that he had collected some in the Evil Realm, it was not a problem. After entering the Evil King City, Su Yun went straight to the Evil Spirit Tavern in the south of the city. Although the Evil Realm was different from the Sky Martial Continent, the Evil Realm people and humans had a common custom. To gather information at the tavern, to discuss matters, they would also go to the tavern. The reason why Su Yun knew that the Almighty Being had the glazed heart was because of the news he got from the tavern in the south of the Evil King City. There were quite a number of Evil Realm people in and out of the pub. The place was crowded like a marketplace. In the main hall of the pub, there were already 5 tables filled with wine. The unique, pungent smell of the evil wine permeated the air, causing Su Yun to feel uncomfortable. He wrinkled his nose, walked in, and came to a table in the corner and sat down in front of an old-looking Evil Realm person. The old man wore a hat. His face was pitch black. There was not much evil chi. His eyes were cloudy, as though he was a person who was about to die, but the chi on his body was extremely strong. He was actually a second-stage spirit soul realm expert. This old man's name was Bu Xie, and he was a famous information broker in the south of the Evil King City. It was said that when he was out searching for treasures to train, he was almost killed by an almighty being. He managed to escape with much difficulty, but his guts were broken, and he did not dare to go out alone. So he relied on gathering information to exchange for materials and treasures from other Evil Realm people to train, hiding in the city to train, increasing his own strength. Although he was currently a second-stage Spirit Soul Realm cultivator, his battle strength was not enough, and he was afraid that he could barely fight against a first-stage Spirit Soul Realm cultivator. He only sat there for 2 hours a day, and after that, he would either go to train or gather information. So, time was tight. I want to know the whereabouts of the mystical void iron. Su Yin took out 2 treasures from the 3-link evil almighty being and placed them on the table. The 3-link evil almighty being was an existence that was about to step into the spirit star realm. His things were naturally not bad. Upon placing them on the table, the old man's eyes immediately lit up. Mystical void iron, you came at the right time. Busiek kept the 2 treasures into his storage ring and drank a bowl of evil wine. Right time? What do you mean? What do I mean? It's simple, brat. The mystical void iron that you want. In Evil King City, there's one. There's one. Su Yun's expression tensed and asked, "Where is it?" "In the hands of Evil Demon." "Evil Demon?" "Yes, Evil Demon. Why?" "Brat, don't you know? In the Evil King City, there was a famous evil person. He was brave and ruthless, killing everywhere he went, stealing other people's treasures, and even forcefully taking the female evil people, forcing them to dual cultivate with him. There was no evil that he would not stoop to. That evil demon has been tyrannical in Evil King City, and has been a fish on the chopping block for many years. Who knows how many people have challenged him, but none of them could shake his position. For such an invincible and powerful evil realm person, he's usually called the Sovereign King. Sovereign King. Su Yun's heart jumped. His mind could not help but think about the Sovereign King sword in the Evil Sword sect's secret palace. Could it be the owner of the sword was once a powerful and undefeatable evil realm person? The Sovereign King enjoys an extremely high status in Evil King City, and the reason why this evil demon can be tyrannical is because he defeated the previous Sovereign King and enjoyed the authority. He has been in Evil King City for so many years, and who knows how many treasures he has obtained. Recently I heard that he stole the treasures of an evil realm person who passed by Evil King City, and among those treasures, there's the mystical void iron. Brad, if you want it, you have to find him. Does he want to change the mystical void iron? No. He wants to refine the mystical void iron. I heard that he wants to create a divine weapon for himself. For that, he has captured more than 10 evil realm people, and is preparing to refine his own weapon spirit. Refine? Su Yun's expression froze. Yes. Busiek moved his head closer and said softly, "So if you want to do it, hurry up." What's his cultivation? 9th stage, spirit, soul realm. It shouldn't be considered high in Evil King City, right? It's not high. But if it's not high, there are many of them, and the number of evil realm people following the evil Sovereign King are as many as the sea. You could defeat the Sovereign King, but can you defeat the experts by his side? Su Yun was silent. Do you know when he's preparing to refine the evil weapon? I heard it's 10 days later, when he's going to perform the sacrifice. There will be many evil realm people coming to watch. I understand. Su Yun nodded, stood up, and prepared to leave. Just then, 3 figures walked in from the entrance of the pub. The 3 of them were dressed in Black Blade Master clothes. Their entire bodies were overflowing with evil chi, each holding an evil sword. When they entered, they immediately looked left and right, and very quickly, the 3 of them found a table and sat down. Evil Sword sect people. Su Yun frowned. His gaze landed on the order badge on their waists. Chapter 237. Are they here to capture my group? Su Yun secretly used the Heavenly Scale Divine Eye to check, but realized that they were only 2nd stage spirit soul realm cultivators and heaved a sigh of relief. Actually, he was not willing to become enemies with the Evil Sword sect. Su Yun was a person who would definitely take revenge, but kindness, he would always remember it in his heart. He still remembered too by Li's encouragement and help, still remembered Hun San guiding him into the Evil Sword sect, still remembered the Evil Sword sect's generosity and hospitality. The reason why they wanted to kill him was because he had secretly learned the Evil Sword techniques first. Su Yun shook his head. He did not want to think anymore, and wanted to leave. But just at this time, before he could leave the pub, a large number of evil realm people suddenly rushed in. They were dressed in weird and dazzling clothes. All of them had dense chi, sinister expressions, their eyes filled with killing intent. Once they entered the pub, all the evil realm people in the pub stood up, trembling to the side, not daring to sit down. Deterrence. It was a complete deterrence. Just by entering the door, the evil realm people in the pub did not dare to make any moves. Why are they here? The old fox Boussier seemed to be extremely fearful of these people. He immediately put down his wine bowl, stood up hurriedly, and stood at the side, trembling with fear. Su Yun felt that something was amiss. He was not in a hurry to leave. He walked to Boussier's side and asked softly, "Boussier, who are these people? Who else can it be? Aren't they the subordinates of the sovereign king you are looking for?" Boussier panicked softly. The sovereign king's subordinates? What are they doing here? There must be something. Now is not the time to collect the tributes. I'm afraid they are here for another mission. Kid, don't be reckless. These people are all third-stage spirit-soul realm cultivators and above. The highest is a sixth-stage spirit-soul realm cultivator. If you ignore them and leave, it will definitely make them furious, and you will be killed on the spot. Then what should we do? Cooperate with them. Whatever they want us to do, we'll do it. If they don't want us to do something, we can't move. It's best to just stand there obediently. Otherwise, we won't be able to walk out of Evil King City. The Sovereign King's power is so big, Su Yun asked in shock. Big, ordinary evil realm people cannot imagine. Boussier said while trembling. After the evil realm people entered the bar, they immediately sealed the door. Two evil realm people stepped forward and shouted toward the people drinking in the bar. Everyone stand over here, quick. The evil people did not dare to resist. They all stood in a row. The three evil sword sect disciples looked at each other and walked forward. Of course, Su Yun was no exception. However, no matter how powerful the sovereign king was, this was still the evil king city. There was a set of rules that belonged to the evil king city. These people would not kill everyone in the tavern, right? He believed that as long as he cooperated with them, they would not do anything rash. If not, wouldn't the evil king city be in chaos? Everyone quickly stood up. The tavern could not guarantee the safety of the customers, since in the evil realm, the one with the biggest fist was always the master. The two evil beings walked in a circle in front of these people, and then one of them nodded to the other evil being. The evil being then took out a pitch-black round mirror from his storage ring. He held onto the round mirror and chanted. Very quickly, a pair of evil eyes appeared in the round mirror. The evil eyes spewed out black light and shone in all directions. The evil being shone the round mirror at the other evil being. Very quickly, the round mirror shot out a strange rune. This won't do. The evil being shook his head, then shone the round mirror at the next person. This won't do either. Another person. This one is still terrible. No. Seeing their weird actions, everyone was shocked. What are they doing? Su Yun muttered. What is that treasure? I have never seen it before. Boussier's face was filled with suspicion. He did not understand. Very quickly, the round mirror shone on the three evil sword sect disciples. No, the evil being still shook his head. The first male disciple seemed to have been eliminated, followed by the second male disciple. The evil being holding onto the round mirror looked carefully, then shook his head helplessly. He sighed and looked at the third female disciple. The female disciple looked innocent. She looked at the evil beings in confusion. Her facial features were exquisite and her skin was slightly gray. She was considered one of the prettiest among the evil beings. The evil beings had long noticed her, but due to official business, they did not do anything rash. The strange round mirror shone on her body. The round mirror suddenly released a series of golden runes. The evil being holding onto the round mirror was startled. Immediately, his expression overflowed with joy. Good, good. There's one here. There's one here. Good. Ha ha. What? Finally, there's one? Is it her? TSK, what a pity. It's rare to see such a beauty. The subordinates of the sovereign king gathered together and hurriedly asked, Now there's one more. The round mirror evil being did not care about his comrades. He continued to move and shone on the evil beings behind. No, no, no. Very quickly, it was Su Yun's turn. That's the last one. Sigh. Seems like I have to go somewhere else. Damn it. Is it so hard to find two good evil beings? The evil being spat on the ground. He activated the round mirror and shot the evil light towards Su Yun. In a moment, the evil light exploded with 7 colored runes. The runes flowed with light auras. It was dazzling like a miracle. Su Yun was baffled. When he looked at the evil beings again, he saw that all of them were petrified. God, God, God rank talent. God rank talent. This person's talent index is at least 5 times higher than normal. The evil being regained his senses. His lips trembled. He muttered anxiously. Then he laughed out loud. Haha, it's him. With such a God-rank talent. If we report to the Sovereign King, we will definitely be heavily rewarded. What? God-rank talent? Are you sure? The evil being behind opened his eyes wide. He asked in disbelief. I'm definitely not wrong. My treasure mirror will never be wrong. Quick, bring him and the girl away. Quick, the evil being shouted. Good, bring them away. A group of evil beings rushed towards the female disciple and Su Yun. They wanted to restrain the two of them. What are you guys doing? 2 male disciples from the evil sword sect immediately rushed forward and shouted. Rascal, are you looking for death? Move aside. Move aside. Do you know who we are? We are from the evil sword sect. The disciple shouted with a sinister look. Evil sword sect? The evil being holding onto the round mirror sneered. I have never heard of the evil sword sect. I only know that this is the evil king's city. The Sovereign King recently obtained a piece of mystical void iron. He plans to refine an evil weapon. All the ingredients are prepared, but he is still lacking 2 talented evil beings to be the weapon spirits. Her and him. Her talent index is up to standard. She is a good candidate to be a weapon spirit. I advise you to cooperate with us. If not, don't blame us for killing you on the spot. What? You want to make me a weapon spirit? The female evil being was stunned. Not us. It's the Sovereign King. If you don't cooperate, I guarantee you won't be able to leave Evil King City. The evil being laughed coldly. Aren't you guys afraid of offending the evil sword sect? Do you know who she is in the evil sword sect? If you dare to touch her, your Sovereign King will definitely die a horrible death. The male disciple was hot-tempered. He immediately shouted. But in the next second, an evil being rushed out from the crowd and rushed towards him. The male disciple's expression changed. He quickly raised his weapon to defend. Gotcha! The pitch-black evil sword was instantly broken by the man's fist. The iron fist that broke the sword fiercely smashed onto his chest, causing his entire chest to cave in. He flew backwards, knocking into a few evil realm people, and fell not far away. He spat out evil blood. His life was in danger. Senior brother, the female evil being shouted anxiously. The rest of the evil beings were all shocked. They looked at the man who suddenly appeared. Even Su Yun was shocked by it. 8th-stage spirit soul realm. He did not expect that there would be such an expert hidden within the group of evil beings. Previously, when the group of evil beings came in, this man was hidden within the crowd. He hid his cultivation and no one could sense him. So scary. If he had acted rashly just now, he would have been surrounded. If it was one-on-one, he could fight against this 8th-stage spirit soul realm cultivator. But there were many of them. They were all experts of the spirit soul realm. If he were to forcefully make a move, he would be in trouble. Su Yun's face turned cold. He was thinking, should he rely on the invisible jewel to leave? It was not realistic to place his hopes on the jewel. He did not know what level of existence the invisible jewel would be effective against. Humph! You dare to humiliate our Sovereign King. Seeking death. Bring them away. Don't talk nonsense. Just then a shout came out. The group of evil beings ran over and pointed their weapons at Su Yun and the female evil being. Seeing that, Su Yun took a deep breath. He knew that things could not be settled. His mind moved. He seemed to have thought of something, but he did not panic. It seemed like he could only do that. Let's go, the evil being shouted. Forced by the situation, Su Yun and the female evil being could only obey and leave the pub. Junior sister, don't worry. I'll inform Master. He'll bring the experts of the sword sect to save you. Don't worry. The disciple of the evil sword sect shouted. The female evil being nodded. There was still fear in her eyes. Suyin lowered his head. No one knew what he was thinking. What happened in the bar caused a commotion. But it was just a commotion. Very quickly, the evil people dispersed. Such a thing was not a rare thing to them. A group of evil beings brought the two of them out of the pub. They headed towards the south of the city. At the south of the evil king city, there were a few gigantic altars. In the middle of the altars, there was a pitch-black mansion. Every single brick and potato in the mansion was pitch black. Dense evil chi was being emitted out. Inside and outside the mansion, there were evil beings. This was a training ground that the sovereign king ordered people to build. It was said that the mansion was made into a treasure. It was extremely powerful, but no one had ever seen it used. Along the way, all the evil beings looked at the two of them. All their eyes were filled with mockery and ridicule. They knew that the two of them had become lambs. They were about to be executed. Towards people who were about to die, many of the evil beings held a pitiful attitude towards them. "Are you from the evil sword sect?" Suyin turned his head and asked the female evil being beside him. Her eyes were filled with fear. The female evil being was stunned. She raised her head to look at the person beside her. He was wearing a cape. She could not see his face clearly. But behind the dense evil chi, there seemed to be a pair of cold eyes. "Yes," she said softly. She felt weak. "What's your name? Why are you asking?" Nothing much. It's just that I have some relations with the evil sword sect." "I'm Chunyi-yun." "Good name. What about you?" "I'm Limitless." His pale lips moved slightly. His devilish lips curled up. Chapter 238. Very quickly, the two of them were brought to the Sovereign King's cultivation mansion. The mansion was huge and dignified. There were evil seals and evil arrays everywhere. The north side of the mansion was where the Sovereign King's dual cultivation partners stayed. It was said that most of these dual cultivation partners were forcefully captured by the Sovereign King. They were just tools for the Sovereign King to cultivate. Regardless of their looks, many of them were ugly. Cultivating with the Sovereign King, they had gained many benefits. Hence, many of them were loyal to the Sovereign King. The east side was the Sovereign King's treasury. There were many treasures that the Sovereign King had taken from the evil king city. The west side was the military grounds. There were many evil realm people that followed the Sovereign King. They cultivated here and enjoyed the benefits that the Sovereign King had bestowed upon them. But when it was necessary, they had to fight for the Sovereign King, even to the point of death. Suyin and Chunyi-yun were brought to the underground prison beneath the mansion by the evil realm people. The underground prison was square-shaped. It was dark and damp. It was protected by 49 evil arrays, and there were many evil realm people guarding it. When the two of them were brought into the prison, a series of ghostly wails and wolf howls sounded out. Suyin looked towards the direction of the sound. On the two sides of the dark and narrow prison, there were many prison cells that were strengthened by arrays. And in the prison cells, there were many evil realm people locked up. These evil realm people grabbed onto the bars and shook them crazily. They screamed and screamed. "Let me out. I don't want to be a weapon spirit. Let me out." Hysterical screams rang out incessantly. The air was filled with a putrid stench. On the floor, there were large amounts of evil realm blood and pieces of flesh. It was like hell. Chun-Yun's face was pale. It was obvious that she was frightened by the scene. Speaking of which, the evil sword sect was considered the most peaceful and comfortable place in the entire evil realm. Chun-Yun had never seen such a scene before. "Hurry up and go." The evil realm people behind pushed Su-yun and Chun-Yun. They shouted impatiently. The two of them did not say a word. They continued to move forward. "Lock them up in the prison cells. Alone. These two are talented weapon spirits. Don't lock them up with the other evil realm people, just in case there's any chaos. Don't let anything happen to them. Do you understand?" The evil realm people in charge of escorting the two of them shouted at the prison guard. The head of the prison looked troubled. He hesitated for a while and said, "Master, recently His Majesty the Sovereign King has been capturing evil realm people, and now the prison is full. There's only one cell left. If you want to lock him up alone, it might not be enough." "If that's the case." The warden thought for a moment and then said, "Put the woman in solitary confinement. As for the man, just throw him into any cell. I don't think he's a good person." If he's in the same cell as the woman, I'm afraid he'll force himself to dual cultivate with the woman. F*CK. Am I that shameless? Suyun really wanted to curse. However, they were under the same roof, so they could only endure it. Yes, sir. The jailer smiled and waved his hand. Very quickly, Chunyi-Yin was brought to a rather clean cell and locked up, while Suyun was thrown into a cell that was filled with other evil realm beings. All right, I will report this matter to His Majesty the King. All the materials have been prepared, and I believe that the crafting ceremony will begin soon. The man said and left with his men. The head of the prison glanced at the man and waited for him to leave. Then, he walked to a table in the cell and continued to drink his evil wine. Suyun entered the cell and was immediately surrounded by evil qi. This group of people did not remove his weapon. They were not afraid of escaping. In front of a powerful mystical technique, running was useless. Furthermore, the cell was extremely sturdy. Even if they had weapons, they would not be able to break it. Suyun entered the cell and stood at the door, looking at the evil realm beings inside. There were a total of 10 evil realm beings locked up in this cell. All of them looked fierce and sinister. There was no hope in their eyes. All that was left was killing intent and coldness. To them, they were about to be used as weapon spirits. Before they died, they might as well enjoy more killing and bathe in more blood. On the floor, there were many corpses of evil realm beings and evil blood. It seemed that many evil realm beings had died before this. It seemed like this group of evil realm beings were together. If not, the situation would not be like this. You are not allowed to kill. If not, you will suffer. The head of the prison shouted towards Suyun. Then, he continued to drink his wine. Suyun raised his head. The hazy and pale face under the cloak revealed a smile. He retrieved the death sword from his back and stabbed it beside him, and said softly, "Submit to me, and I will not kill you." Submit? With just you? Ants. I have not eaten meat for a long time. Quick, let me have a taste. One of the evil realm beings cannot take it anymore. He immediately pounced towards Suyun. But in the next second, a clanging sound could be heard. A black light flashed past and directly sliced the evil realm being's head. The evil realm being's body instantly fell from the sky and crashed onto the ground. Evil blood spurted out everywhere. His head was like a ball that rolled down. His methods were vicious and ruthless. It was extremely tyrannical. All the evil realm beings were stunned. Damn it! Seeing that, the head of the prison was enraged. He anxiously ran over and stood in front of the cage. He activated his evil spirit chi and activated an array of the cage. Suddenly, the entire cage started to vibrate with a strange electric current. All the evil realm beings in the cage started to wail as though they were in extreme pain. "Umph. You've suffered, haven't you?" The head of the prison laughed happily. But Suyun, who was standing at the door, did not have any reaction. Instead, he stood in front of him and scathed. The head of the prison was startled. He immediately understood that this person's cultivation was not ordinary. But he was not angry. Looking at Suyun's calm face, he sneered. "Don't be happy. In a few days, you will become a spirit weapon. Now, I will let you be more arrogant. All right, if anyone starts killing again, I will report to the captain of the criminal team. He will skin you alive and tear your bones apart. I will make you suffer. If you don't listen to my advice, you can try." With that, he turned and continued drinking. Suyun glanced at the head of the prison. He did not care and continued to turn his head. Looking at the evil realm beings who were wailing on the floor, he said indifferently, "Are you guys still willing to submit to me? What time is it now? Still submitting? How many days can you live?" One of the evil realm beings stood up and shouted at Suyun. "If you guys are willing to submit to me as your master, I might be able to save you guys." Suyun kept the death sword back into its sheath and laughed. "Save us? How? Pass your power to me. You want to devour us?" One of the evil realm beings asked in fear. "If you guys do not do as I say, I will devour you," Suyun said coldly. With that said, all the evil realm beings started to tremble. Facing such a strong person, who would dare to go against Suyun's wishes? They immediately nodded their heads in agreement. Seeing that, Su Yun placed his hand on the heavenly crystal on his chest. Then, he channeled his evil spirit chi into it. After the battle with the three-link almighty being, the heavenly crystal was activated. All the evil spirit chi inside was used up. Although he had recovered a little during the journey, the time was too short. Just relying on the time to recover was not enough. If the heavenly crystal's power was not at its maximum, he would not be able to use it. Su Yun channeled half of his evil spirit chi into the heavenly crystal. He only managed to recover 30% of it. Adding on the previous amount, he still needed 60% of his evil spirit chi to fill up the heavenly crystal. Power, give it to me, Su Yun said softly. The evil realm beings swallowed their saliva. After hesitating for a while, they gathered their courage and walked over. They extended their hands out and placed them on Su Yun's body. They started to channel evil spirit chi into his body. Although the evil realm beings were only at the spirit core disciple realm, the evil spirit chi in their bodies was more than sufficient. Very quickly, Su Yun's body was filled with evil spirit chi. Not enough. I need more. Continue. Continue. Su Yun did his best to absorb the evil spirit chi and shouted. The evil realm beings were all sweating profusely. Their chi was weak and they were powerless. But they were afraid of the god of death. No one dared to be careless. Finally, many of the evil realm beings could not take it anymore. They fell to the ground. Su Yun's body had recovered to its peak condition. What's wrong? The head of the prison saw that Su Yun was causing trouble again. He was enraged. He shouted twice and ran away. Not long later, the evil realm being that caught Su Yun rushed into the prison. Looking at the weak, evil realm people rolling on the ground, the man was enraged. Are you swallowing their evil spirit chi? Damn it! Lock him up in that woman's cell. The evil realm being roared. Master, aren't you afraid that he will forcefully dual cultivate with that evil woman? What's there to be afraid of? That evil woman's cultivation is high. Why would she be afraid of him? Humph! Let him be happy for a while. When the time comes, he will suffer. Oh, that's good, the head of the prison said. He opened the prison door with the other two evil realm beings and brought Su Yun out. They were about to lock him up in Chun Yun's cell. Wait a minute. Just then, the evil realm being shouted. Master, what's wrong? His two swords, the evil realm being said softly. I can see that this person's cultivation is not low. His swords are not ordinary either. Hand them over. All right. The head of the prison nodded and ran over. Oh, you want these two swords? Su Yun raised his head. He revealed a smile under his cloak. Stop talking nonsense. Hand them over. All right then. Su Yun did not reject him. He smiled. He took the immortal, mystical scarlet blood sword and death sword and handed them over. The head of the prison did not care. He extended his hand out to receive the two swords. But just as he was about to touch the two swords, a strange energy erupted from the death sword. The head of the prison trembled. He almost fell to the ground. When he looked at the two swords again, he was filled with shock and fear. What's wrong? And nothing. It's just that, master, these two swords seem a little weird. How? What's weird about it? They are the treasures of the sovereign king. Put them in the treasury. The evil realm being did not care. He waved his hand. Yes. The head of the prison replied. The evil realm beings walked away. Su Yun, who was standing in Chun Yun's cell, watched them leave quietly. Then, he raised his hand and placed it on the heavenly crystal on his chest. He channeled all the evil chi he had into it. Just 40% more. I believe it will be done soon. He muttered. Chapter 239. Swoosh. Su Yun's palm dimmed. He had used up 70% of his elemental profound spirit chi. His body was weak, but the heavenly crystal could recover quickly. To him, it was only beneficial. He sat cross-legged and slowly adjusted his body. After a while, he regained his strength. When he looked over, he saw Chun Yun curled up her body and leaned against the corner of the cage. Her eyes were lifeless as she looked ahead. Yun. Su Yun opened his mouth and called out. Chun Yun was in the second stage of the spirit soul realm, the same as Su Yun. But when Su Yun said it, Chun Yun acted as though she did not hear anything. She did not reply. She did not even look at Su Yun. Her dark eyes were filled with fear. Her body was trembling. Suyin knew what she was thinking. Although a second-stage spirit-soul realm cultivator was considered a good existence in the evil realm, but in the evil king city, it was nothing, especially in front of the sovereign king and his subordinates. A second-stage spirit-soul realm cultivator could only be used as a weapon spirit. Iyun, Suyin called out again. This time his voice was louder. Chun Iyun regained her senses. She turned her neck and looked at Suyin. She did not understand. Don't worry. We'll be fine. He smiled. Fine. Chun Iyun heard and laughed at herself. Although we're in the spirit-soul realm, can we escape? The experts from the Evil Sword sect are rushing over. We need time. The experts from the Evil Sword sect will arrive in a flash. Senior brother forgot to bring his communication treasure, so he has to run back to the Evil Sword sect to inform his people. Chun Iyun laughed bitterly. I never thought that the first time I came to the Evil King City, I would encounter such a thing. I've long heard that the Evil King City is chaotic, but I never thought it would be so serious. Which place in the evil realm isn't like this? Here, there's no law. It was because of the strong preying on the weak in the evil realm. That was why the evil realm people were so strong. They could not be compared to the other realms. Aren't you afraid? Seeing Su Yun's relaxed face without any signs of panic, Chun Iyun asked curiously, what's the use of being afraid? True. Besides, what's there to be afraid of? It's not that I'm afraid of the king. I'm just afraid of losing everything. I worked so hard for so long, cultivated so hard, and yet this is what I get. If I knew this would happen, I would have listened to father and not left Sword's Gate. Chun Iyun sighed softly. Her face was filled with helplessness. Su Yun understood her feelings. Any spirit cultivator who had bitterly trained for decades or even hundreds of years would not be able to enjoy the benefits of cultivation before being killed by an expert. This kind of despair and helplessness could not be described with words. Do you want to live? Su Yun asked. Do you have any ideas? Chun Iyun did not have much interest. From the looks of it, she did not think highly of Su Yun. That was true. Su Yun's cultivation was the same as hers. Even she could not do anything. What could Su Yun do? There is one way. Su Yun smiled and said, you just have to transfer a large portion of your profound spirit chi in my body, and that will be enough. What? Chun Iyun looked at Su Yun suspiciously. Why are you doing this? Do as I say, and I can save you. I refuse. Chun Iyun shook her head. This cage only has you in me. If my strength is not enough, you will kill me and devour my soul. What should I do then? We are already imprisoned. Why would I devour your soul? I don't know, but I still can't believe you. Is that so? Su Yun hesitated for a while, then suddenly extended his hand, releasing a bit of evil spirit chi. The spirit chi suddenly became sharp, and in the midst of the spirit chi, there was a flickering, sinister face of an evil spirit. Chun Iyun casually glanced at it, but with just a glance, she was stunned. Her eyes stared straight at the spirit chi, and exclaimed in surprise, This is the evil sword spirit chi? Do you know the evil sword technique? Are you from the evil sword sect too? You can treat me as a disciple of the evil sword sect. Su Yun said, so? Do you believe me? If you believe me, I can safely bring you out. Chun Iyun hesitated for a while. Thinking again and again, she felt that there was no other way, so she nodded her head. I believe you. With that, she extended her hand, placed it on Su Yun's back, and began to imbue profound spirit chi into his body. Seeing that, Su Yun immediately placed his hand on the heavenly crystal and injected energy into it. The power of the heavenly crystal began to rise, and the color gradually changed. In front of the quiet pavilion, an exquisite and beautiful figure stood quietly by the windowsill. The beautiful figure was lonely. Her eyes stared at the bright moon in the dusky sky in a daze. Her small and exquisite face, the size of a palm, was filled with worry. Behind her, a large, snow-white foxtail was gently swaying, appearing rather mischievous. Master! Just then, a voice came from the pavilion. What's the matter? Protector Lu is here. Oh. Hu Qianmei's eyes shone with a strange light. She lowered her head and thought for a while, then said, Bring him to the front hall. I'll be there immediately. Yes. The servant girl ran down. After a while, Hu Qianmei, who was dressed in a red robe, entered the front hall. Lu Xandong was already waiting in the front hall. He held a cup of tea, blew on it, and took 2 sips. Protector Lu is visiting so late at night. What's the matter? Hu Qianmei walked to her own master's chair and sat down. She was petite. The chair looked like a child's chair, but the people of Mingying School were already used to it. Lu Xandong put down the teacup. His face revealed a strange smile. He shifted his gaze and looked at Hu Qianmei. Nothing much. It's just that I haven't seen Elder Hu for a long time. I miss you. If there's nothing else, please return, Protector Lu. Qianmei still has some matters to attend to. I can't entertain you. Please forgive me. With that, Hu Qianmei waved her slender arm and shouted, Send the guest off. Looking at her cold expression, she seemed to hate this person. But this person was completely unaware. Wait, Lu Xandong shouted and said, Protector Hu, we're about to become a family. Why are you still so cold to me? A family? Hu Qianmei was stunned. Yes, a family. Lu Xandong's mouth curved into an unfathomable smile and said, Sect leader gave me news. What did he say? He's already made the decision for you. He agreed to let you marry me and be my dual cultivation companion. Lu Xandong laughed. He doesn't have that authority. Hu Qianmei clenched her fists and gritted her teeth. The time is about to be set. Maybe after this year's Mountain River List selection competition ends. Seems like I have to look for sect leader to have a good talk. Hu Qianmei took a deep breath, calmed the excitement in her heart, and said calmly, Up to you. Lu Xandong was not afraid and laughed. Today, I'm here to catch up with you, and also to inform you of this matter. All right, since you're busy, then you should be busy, my future wife. With that, Lu Xandong licked his dry lips. His eyes flashed with a desire that only a ferocious beast should have. Then he stood up and walked out. Hu Qianmei sat quietly on the chair, looked at the ground, and clenched her fists even tighter. Looking for sect leader was obviously useless. But why did sect leader agree to Lu Xandong's request? Isn't he afraid that I'll be unhappy? Hu Qianmei thought, and after a while, she raised her head. Ming Xiang, a lady dressed in black, quickly rushed in from outside and knelt in front of Hu Qianmei. Master, Ming Xiang is here. Pass down my orders. Quickly go and meet that woman. Tell her before I take care of the Immortal Sword sect. I want her to help me take care of a person. If she is unable to do it, then our cooperation will end here. Yes, master. The lady called Ming Xiang replied softly. Hu Qianmei said softly. Her pair of charming eyes were filled with killing intent. Hua! A light sound came out in the sealed prison. The head of the prison opened his eyes and looked at Su Yun, but seeing that Su Yun and Chen Yun were still sitting cross-legged, the light sound came from Su Yun's body. The two of them did not move, so he ignored them and continued to sleep. Chen Yun put down her hands. Her delicate face was frighteningly white. She looked at Su Yun while panting and asked weakly, Is that enough? But Su Yun's body was overflowing with light. Very quickly, the light dissipated. He slowly opened his eyes and said softly, It's about time. Chen Yun looked at him quietly. Her eyes filled with worry, but when she saw Su Yun's relaxed look, she felt a little relieved. What do you plan to do? If I say I kill the sovereign king, and then we leave safely, will you believe me? Su Yun looked at her face and laughed. Kill the sovereign king? Chen Yun's brain slowed down. She stared at Su Yun, and after a while, she sighed helplessly. Are you a fool talking? Let's not talk about your low cultivation. You're only at the second stage of the spirit soul realm. You're basically unable to fight against the sovereign king. Just based on the fact that you can't even protect your own weapon, how can you talk about killing the sovereign king? I'm serious. Don't tell me I've done so much just to cooperate with a lunatic. Chen Yun became weaker and weaker. Su Yun shrugged and did not refute. Dang. Just then, the prison door opened, and a group of evil people rushed in. Chun Yun's face was filled with fear, her body curling up even more. The evil people rushed to the front of a prison, opened the door, and pulled out 3 evil people and brought them away. The other evil people in the prison immediately screamed, their screams sounding like pigs being slaughtered. "What are they doing?" Chun Yun asked with her pale lips. "Counting the days, it's almost time for the sovereign king to forge the divine weapon. Where are they being brought to? Can't you guess? Maybe it'll be our turn later. Will we die?" Chun Yun hugged her knees, her shoulders trembling. Although she was a spirit soul realm cultivator, she was feeling more helpless. Su-Yin looked at Chun Yun, was silent for a while, then walked over and patted her shoulder lightly. Chun Yun raised her head, but saw a pale face, but there was a hint of gentleness on it, and said, "Don't worry, you'll be fine, I promise." Chun Yun was startled, and looked at Su-Yun in astonishment. "Your face?" Su-Yun laughed, but did not reply. His entire body was overflowing with evil qi, and Chun Yun would not associate him with a human. Crack! Just then, footsteps came out from the prison door again, following that the group of people that left previously walked in again. The leader of the group swept his eyes across all the prison cells, then waved his hand and bellowed, "Bring all of them to the altar!" "Yes!" The evil people behind shouted, then immediately ran over and brought the group of people away. Chapter 240. Su-Yun and Chun Yun's cultivation was the highest, so naturally they enjoyed the best treatment. The 2 of them were shackled and were escorted by 2 4th-stage spirit soul cultivators. Around them were many evil realm people. All of them were 1st to 5th-stage spirit soul cultivators. Su-Yun was surprised, since when were there so many spirit soul cultivators? Chun Yun's hands were trembling. She lowered her head and bit her lips. Obviously, she was extremely afraid. This was normal. The evil realm was cruel. Without power, no one could guarantee that they would be safe and sound in the next second. The 2 of them were escorted to the altar at the south side of the mansion. At that moment, the altar was surrounded by evil realm people. In the middle of the altar, there was a gigantic crescent blade mold, and under the mold was a gigantic cauldron, with evil fire burning inside. The evil realm people who were captured by the Sovereign King were all tied around the cauldron, and in a while, they would be thrown into the cauldron along with the materials to be refined. All these evil realm people's bodies would be refined into nothingness. Their consciousness would be erased, and only their souls would be left in the crescent blade that was about to be refined. The Sovereign King was powerful, and with so many high-quality materials, the crescent blade that he refined would naturally not be ordinary. At the periphery of the altar, there were already many evil King City, evil realm people watching. They tiptoed and looked inside. Many of them had passionate expressions, as though they were extremely interested in the refinement. In front of the altar, there was a luxurious chair. Surrounding the chair were many enchanting and beautiful female evil beings with pitch-black skin. All of them were dressed in revealing clothes. Some of them were standing while others were lying down, with the male evil being sitting on the chair as the center. The male evil realm person was dressed in a golden robe. His figure was skinny. His cheeks were sharp. His evil eyes shone with gold light. He was very imposing. This was the Sovereign King. He hugged 2 female evil realm people. His long and narrow eyes looked at the gigantic crescent blade mold, his mouth curling into a smile. "Are all the materials here?" The Sovereign King opened his mouth and asked loudly. An 8th-stage spirit soul realm old evil realm person anxiously walked forward and knelt before the Sovereign King and shouted, "Reporting to the Sovereign King, it is all here." "Very good." The Sovereign King nodded his head in satisfaction, then said, "I have invited a few other almighty beings in Evil King City. When noon arrives, we will begin to forge the divine weapon." The evil array revolved under the big cauldron. The evil people who were bound around the cauldron and were about to be used as materials cried and begged for mercy, but it was useless. The evil people outside the cauldron looked at these people coldly. They were like sinners who had committed a huge crime and did not receive any pity from others. "Congratulations. Congratulations, Lord Sovereign King. Congratulations on the birth of your divine weapon. Ha ha! Just then, a loud shout came out from outside the arena. Following that, a row of evil realm people escorted an evil bone carriage and walked over. Upon entering the altar, the person on the carriage immediately walked down and cupped his fist towards the sovereign king who was seated. Ha ha, Lord Puppet Evil, many thanks, many thanks. When the divine weapon is born, I hope you can help me consecrate it. The sovereign king pushed the evil woman aside and stood up, laughing out loud. Definitely, definitely. The 10th stage spirit soul realm cultivator said. Not long after, another 9th stage spirit soul realm cultivator arrived. They were the leaders of the evil people in Evil King City. Everyone knew that the sovereign king had invited them not only to consecrate it, but also to intimidate the crowd. After all, Evil King City did not belong to the sovereign king, and there were a few strong cultivators who disagreed with the sovereign king. The two of them were called Wu Xiang and Ing's cultivation was at the 9th stage. Although it was not high, his intelligence was exceptional. His methods were even scarier than the 10th stage Wu Xiang, and he was extremely famous in Evil King City. After the two of them congratulated the sovereign king, they were arranged to sit by the side. The man called Ing's gaze swept across the big cauldron. His eyes roamed around every evil person, as though he was interested in them. Just then, Ing's face turned pale. His eyes landed on the haggard Chun Yun. Ayaya, Lord Sovereign King, you're really wasting a treasure. Oh, what do you mean? The sovereign king who was chatting with Wu Xiang turned his head and looked at Ing and raised his hand and pointed at Chun Yun. He clicked his tongue and said, such a beautiful, evil person. How can you just refine her like that? Don't you want to enjoy her first before refining her? Tell me, aren't you wasting a treasure? I can see that her eyebrows have not split yet. Her face is clean. She is still a virgin. What a waste. What a waste. Ha ha ha, is that it? The sovereign king laughed out loud. He looked at Chun Yun. His eyes lit up, but when he saw Ing's gaze landing on Chun Yun, he was not stingy. He waved his hand and said, since brother Ing has taken a liking to her, then I'll allow it. You can enjoy her first before refining her. How about that? Ing's eyes lit up. His face was filled with joy. Are you serious? When have I ever lied to you? The sovereign king shouted, bring her here. Ha ha ha, then I'll thank you. Ing laughed out loud. His eyes were filled with fire. His gaze started to sweep across Chun Yun's body. The few of them were talking loudly. Chun Yun could hear them. Seeing the two evil beings walking towards her, Chun Yun's face immediately turned ugly. Her entire body trembled. No, don't. Just refine me. Don't humiliate me anymore. Chun Yun screamed. But at that moment, who could help her? She shut her eyes tightly. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Hopelessness and helplessness surrounded her. She had never thought that she would end up in such a miserable state. Never in her wildest dreams did she think that she would end up like this. Stop. Just then, a light shout came out. Everyone looked towards the direction of the voice and saw that the person who spoke was the person who was wearing a cloak beside Chun Yun. His appearance was unclear. Limitless? Chun Yun was startled. The man's chest was overflowing with a thick and dense qi. This qi was like a cocoon, quickly wrapping around him. His profound spirit qi, his realm, in the blink of an eye, his strength began to rise crazily. Oh! The sovereign king, Wu Xiang, and Ing all stood up and looked at Su Yun. Does this person still have treasures on him? He's only left with his storage ring. It won't be too late to take it after refining him. The old man at the side immediately said to the sovereign king, you sure know how to find trouble for me. The sovereign king snorted. Su Yun's chest was flickering with a black light, as though there was a pitch-black heart embedded there. He raised his head, and under the cloak, a pale and demonic face could be faintly seen. The man's arms moved slightly, and the handcuffs and shackles that restricted his cultivation were all broken. Following that, he walked towards the sovereign king. A strong wind blew. The long cloak fluttered. Hua hua. The man's body started to release a strange, evil chi. Seems like my subordinates are wrong. Your cultivation is not just at the second stage of the spirit soul realm. But, so what if it's not? Can you still make a big wave here? The sovereign king said indifferently. Kill him. Grab his soul. Yes, the evil realm people around shouted. Then they surrounded Su Yun. They were all third stage spirit soul realm cultivators. There were 7 of them. In any realm, they were not weak. But they did not know how terrifying the man who had activated the heavenly crystal was. Chill. An air-piercing sound rang out from the horizon. A beam of black light flew out from the Sovereign King's mansion and headed straight for this place. Dong! The black light landed on the ground. Evil chi surged in all directions. A ripple of chi spread out, causing the evil realm people in all directions to flip. Everyone was shocked by the sudden change. But he did not have the intention to hold back. He extended his hand out and grabbed onto the death sword's hilt. Clang! Roar! An extremely mournful sword whistling sound erupted out from the sword sheath behind him. The sword light flickered. The whooshing sound did not stop, exploding out, revolving around Su Yun, layer upon layer of sword images. There were more than 100 of them. Following that, the 100 swords sank down, falling towards the evil realm people who were retreating. Chi! In that moment, every flying sword released a terrifying evil soul. The evil souls looked sinister. They waved their sharp claws and tore at the evil realm people. Evil sword technique! The old man beside the sovereign king exclaimed. Chi la chi, lathe, 7 third-stage spirit soul realm cultivators' bodies were instantly ripped apart. Fresh blood splattered all over the ground. The corpses fell to the ground. But it was not over yet. Su Yun flung the death sword in his hand and pierced the corpses of the evil realm people. The death sword actually started to absorb the evil chi from the corpses. The sword's body flickered with a black light. It was extremely strange. The unconcealable strangeness caused people's hair to stand. Su Yun walked over and pulled out the death sword from the corpses. Step by step, he walked towards the Sovereign King. The Sovereign King's face was extremely ugly. Looking at the person who had a calm expression, he knew that he was not a good person. Chun Yun, who was at the side, was stunned. Her eyes stared at Su Yun. Only the heavens knew how shocked she was. Wasn't he a second-stage spirit soul realm cultivator? Why did he have such power? To be able to kill 7 third-stage spirit soul realm cultivators, he had to be at least a 5th-stage spirit soul realm cultivator to be able to do that. Also, wasn't his weapon confiscated? Why was he able to fly back on his own? The confusion caused Chun Yun to feel dizzy. But at that moment, she was happy because she saw it. This person was using the evil sword technique of the evil sword sect. This person must be an almighty being from the evil sword sect. But who is he? I've never seen him before. But he can definitely save me. Chun Yun clenched her fists tightly. Her eyes were filled with hope as she stared at the person. Who are you? Wu Xiang, who had a bad temper, kicked the chair in front of him away and walked towards Su Yun. Su Yun scratched his head through the cloak and said, If I say my name, you guys will definitely not remember it. Why don't I tell you the title that I am about to receive? How about that? The title that you are about to receive? Wu Xiang was startled. What title? Sovereign King. A sinister voice came out. Su Yun's body suddenly exploded with a large amount of evil chi. Like a flowing cloud, he flew past Wu Xiang and headed straight for the Sovereign King. How dare you? You actually dare to challenge me. Good, good. Since you want to die, I will grant you your wish. The Sovereign King was enraged. He pushed the evil female beside him and roared loudly. Then, he clapped both of his hands forward. 2 gigantic hands that were like gigantic elephants struck towards the flowing cloud. Dong! The flowing cloud struck the gigantic hands and stopped. But the 100 swords that were revolving around the flowing cloud flew out like bullets towards the Sovereign King. In a moment, the Sovereign King was surrounded by the 100 swords. The shadows of the swords overlapped, and the sound of the swords shook the earth. The entire evil king city was in an uproar. Chapter 241. A ray of black, evil chi soared into the sky like a flying dragon. Everywhere it passed, the pressure multiplied, and the 100 swords surrounding the sovereign king were immediately dispersed. The sovereign king's hair was in a mess, his eyes were filled with evil chi, his face was sinister, and his expression was one of anger. He stared at Su Yun and bellowed, "I don't care where you came from. Today, you have offended me. I want you dead." With that said, the sovereign king rushed forward, his body shooting out a large number of sharp black chi arrows, like raindrops, whizzing out. "Great evil king formation." Su Yun bellowed. The death sword in his hand pierced the ground. The sword's body quickly overflowed with evil chi. The evil chi was like a fish swimming on the ground, immediately dispersing, and in a moment, a gigantic evil array was formed. Su Yun pulled out his sword, stepped to the side, dodging the chi arrows, and then continued to stab the death sword into the ground. Evil desire slash. The sword slashed down. The evil chi on the sword body exploded like water splashing. Great desert breaking the heavens. The sword slashed down again. Born with a dead heart. Fight till the end of the blood horizon. He danced around the evil array, the sword images moving, the sword tip continuously piercing into the array, strange chants coming out from Su Yun's mouth. At this moment, he actually gave up on killing the sovereign king. Wu Xiang saw it was strange. He did not dare to go forward. After all, he was just an outsider. Su Yun's strength was not weak. He did not need to risk his life. And Ingen was already watching from the sidelines. He did not have any intention of interfering. The sovereign king was enraged. But from the two moves just now, he could see that Su Yun was not ordinary. He clenched his teeth and bellowed to the evil people around him, "Go, kill this man." Yes. The surrounding evil people all rushed towards Su Yun. There were 100 over evil people. The majority of them were spirit soul realm cultivators. The strongest was a 6-stage spirit soul realm cultivator. But Su Yun was not afraid. Forget about Su Yun. Even Chen Yun, who was still wearing the bracelet, was not afraid. She had already seen through the technique. Evil weeping blood formation. Isn't that the 6th form of the evil sword technique? Chen Yun had already learnt the majority of the evil sword techniques. Although it was not exquisite, she could see that although the array that Su Yun had set up had the shadow of the weeping evil underworld blood array, there were many differences. For example, the array eyes. The weeping evil underworld blood array only had the center as the basis, but Su Yun's array eyes were not placed in the center, but at the 2 sides of the array, and there were even 2 array eyes. 2 formation cores. Isn't he afraid that the evil energy released by the formation eye will clash and cause an explosion, blowing himself up into nothingness? Chen Yun mumbled. She recognized this array, but she didn't recognize it at all. 100 evil people rushed in, and the evil array immediately reacted. Su Yun threw the death sword into the air, and the death sword floated in the air, revolving above the evil array. The sword body overflowed with thick evil force, and like a spider web, it flowed into the evil array. In a moment, the evil array actually released a series of terrifying whimpering sounds. Woo! The evil array started to tremble, and a large amount of fog started to spread out. It was pitch black, and no matter how good the evil people's vision was in the dark, they could not see clearly. The evil people panicked. So, suddenly, 2 gigantic evil claws shot out from the mist, sweeping towards them. The evil claws were thick and strong, like the trunk of a 1,000-year-old tree, rumbling and rolling, and all the evil realm people who were rushing over were all caught in it. What? The sovereign king's face turned cold. Seems like the situation is not good. The old man by the side said softly. When the fog in the evil array dissipated, a gigantic evil spirit appeared in the evil array. Only half of the evil spirit's body came out, and the lower half was in the evil array. But even with half of its body, it was still extremely tall, at least a few meters long. It used its thick and solid arms to suppress the evil people, and actually press them on the ground, intending to crush the sovereign king's underlings to death. Chi, there were already evil people who could not hold on any longer their bodies shattered, and they died instantly. And the remaining evil people who were struggling could not hold on any longer. So, just then, Su Yun rushed over. He extended his hand towards the sword sheath on his back, and a cold light appeared, slashing towards the evil people. Another sword. Everyone's eyes were dazzled. The death sword in the air, the 100 swords revolving around him, and the sword in his hand. How many swords did this person control? The sword tip moved, and the evil people who were restrained by the gigantic evil spirit could not resist at all. Many of the evil people's hearts were pierced by the spirit water like sword, and they died instantly, their evil spirits swallowed. In a blink of an eye, Su Yun landed on the ground. With a wave of his hand, the death sword retracted. The 100 swords revolved above his head, and the evil, dark, weeping blood array stopped working, and the evil spirits dispersed. The evil people's corpses fell to the ground, and the evil blood flowed like a river. Powerful. Su Yun secretly heaved a sigh of relief, but his heart was in turmoil. He never thought that the great evil sword technique, which was a few grades higher than the evil sword technique, was actually so powerful. If not for this sword technique and a limitless sword manual, he would definitely not be able to kill so many spirit soul disciple experts so quickly. This was the suppression of mystical techniques. The Sovereign King's face was already extremely ugly. He stared at Su Yun with eyes filled with killing intent. He could not wait to tear Su Yun into pieces. Brother Wu Xiang, Brother Yin, are you guys still going to watch? Aren't you going to help me? The Sovereign King said. Wu Xiang was an impulsive person. Once he heard that, he was prepared to make a move. But just then, Ingen took a step back and laughed. Brother, today I came here to congratulate you, and secondly, to consecrate you. As for fighting, it's really unfortunate. I had a mishap when I was training. I damaged my chi channels and my body was injured. It's really inconvenient for me to help you fight against such a strong enemy. But I believe that with your methods, this kind of small fry is just a scam. Hearing Ingen say that, Wu Xiang pursed his lips and became silent. You guys, humph. The Sovereign King was even more furious. He stared at the two of them and did not say anything else. It was better to rely on oneself than to rely on others. He snapped his fingers. The old man beside him nodded and rushed out. An 8th-stage spirit soul disciple. Su Yun looked at the old man rushing over, and his expression became focused. Although he had killed a large number of evil realm people, they were all 2nd and 3rd-stage spirit soul disciples. Although they had a lot of people, their overall strength was not even half of the 8th-stage spirit soul disciple. Bluntly speaking, grooming a group of 3rd-stage spirit soul disciple was much easier than grooming an 8th-stage spirit soul disciple. Because the higher the realm, the harder it was to train. The old man's chi was strong, and his entire body was emitting hua-hua sounds. When he was in the air, Su Yun realized that his lower body was a hollow spirit mist body. His eyes were filled with malice. He flipped his withered palms, and 2 light seals appeared in his palms. He bellowed and released his palms. A terrifying evil spirit chi erupted from the seals and fiercely pressed down on Su Yun. Su Yun dodged anxiously. Dong, dong, dong. Immediately, a large number of palm prints appeared on the ground, causing it to tremble. Su Yun tilted his body and swung his hand. The evil sword slashed towards the old man in the air. A gigantic crescent-shaped sword chi sliced through the sky. Then, a strange scene appeared. The old man's body suddenly split into many pieces, dodging the evil slash's sword chi. Then, he quickly reformed again, safe and sound. What technique is that? Su Yun's face tensed up. The old man pounced forward, using only his withered hands to fight with Su Yun. Layers of palm images, layers of sword images, the two of them were locked in battle. The surroundings of the altar were already in chaos. The evil realm people did not dare to watch the fight between the strong cultivators, because they did not know what terrifying techniques the strong cultivators had. If they were to be implicated and lose their lives, it would not be worth it. The surrounding evil realm people quickly dispersed, but even more people ran to inform the other evil lords of the evil king city. Su Yun anxiously brandished the death sword and engraved dragon blade, both his hands thrusting, hacking, slashing, stabbing, and slashing. The two swords flew forward like a storm, and the 100 swords revolving around him were like 100 swordsmen with exquisite sword techniques, flying around the old man and continuously slashing. The old man's entire body seemed to be in the middle of a storm of swords. His entire body felt like it was being torn apart. Evil spirit roar. The old man suddenly shouted out, his voice suddenly exploding, the sound wave rippling out. Su Yun retreated a few steps. His attack was forcefully interrupted. The human spirit felt like it was about to leave his body. The old man's malicious eyes released a cruel killing intent. He leapt forward, both his hands forming claws, grabbing towards Su Yun's heart. But in that moment, Su Yun suddenly stabilized his body. He stood properly, quietly watching the old man rushing towards him. He did not defend, he did not attack. And even more so, Su Yun actually kept the engraved dragon blade and death sword back into the sword sheath and sword sheath. What? The sovereign king and the rest were shocked. Chunhyun's mouth was wide open, her face filled with fear as she looked at the scene. Was he looking to die? Maybe the engraved dragon blade is too weak for you guys. I should change to a better sword to fight with you guys. Su Yun raised his head and said to the old man. The old man's muddy eyes could clearly see the pale white face under the cloak and the strange smile. Chill. Just in the time it took for a spark to fly off a flint, a whistling sound broke out from the dusky sky. Following that, a ferocious and swift red light rushed over. Poochie. The red light pierced through the old man's heart at a speed that the naked eye could not follow, and directly pierced in front of Su Yun. Everyone fixed their eyes on it, and saw that it was a slender, blood-red longsword. The sword was not out of the sheath, but the sharp intent surrounding the sword blade seemed to be able to tear the earth apart, shatter the sky. It was extremely terrifying. Wasn't this weapon taken away? Chun Yun said. The old man's heart was broken. He was already on the verge of death. He clutched his chest and struggled, his eyes filled with madness and malevolence, staring at Su Yun. He moved his body. He actually wanted to attack. Su Yun grabbed onto the hilt of the blood-red sword and gently pulled it out. Clang, clang. The sword tip was unsheathed. The moment it was unsheathed, the old man stopped moving. As though he was petrified, he froze in place. The sovereign king's expression became tenser. His face was frighteningly ugly. Su Yun held onto the blood-red sword with one hand, leaping over the petrified old man, and walked towards the sovereign king. Kacha just then, the old man's body suddenly broke into pieces and fell to the ground. Looking down, his body was actually cut into countless pieces. Sword concept. The moment the sword was unsheathed, the sword concept was like thousands of blades, slicing the old man into pieces. An 8th-stage spirit soul realm cultivator was instantly killed. Was this the strength of his strength? Or was it the strength of the mystical sword in his hand? Countless people were shocked. Who exactly was this man? No, the sovereign king could no longer remain calm and screamed out loud. This man, this sword, it had already exceeded his imagination. Actually, I don't want to fight with you. Su Yun held on to the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword tightly and spoke to the sovereign king. I am here today just for the mystical void iron. Maybe you can hand it over. Hearing that, the sovereign king was startled, but looking at the hazy cape, there seemed to be a gray face and a strange demonic gaze reflected in his eyes. Was this man really here for the mystical void iron? Chapter 242. If I give you the mystical void iron, will you let it go? The sovereign king gritted his teeth and whispered to Su Yun. His own subordinates were all dead, and he had lost one of his generals. Although he could not take it lying down, but the sovereign king knew that this man was not simple. Furthermore, he could not guarantee that the other party did not have a backer, and all the unfavorable circumstances told him that he could not continue fighting. If not, it would only benefit others. Of course, when I limitless speak, I mean what I say. The man in the cape said, Limitless. The sovereign king frowned. He wanted to agree, but at the moment, in front of everyone, Wu Xiang and Ingham were watching. If he really compromised with this man, he was afraid that he would not have a place to stand in Evil King City. He anxiously thought for a moment, and with an idea, he nodded. "All right, since you want it, I'll give it to you." With that, the Sovereign King rummaged through his storage ring a few times, and a bumpy, apple-sized silver-white stone was taken out by him. The surface of the stone was glowing, as though there were stars revolving around it. The colors were endless, flickering resplendently. It was mystical. "This is the mystical void iron." He extended his hand out and said, "You can take it." "All right." Su Yun nodded, without any hesitation. He quickly walked over to the mystical void iron. The Sovereign King stared straight at the man in the cape who was holding onto the blood sword, his entire body overflowing with evil chi. His other hand secretly activated a mystical technique, looking for an opportunity, and was prepared to make a move. Then, just as the man neared, he did not take the mystical void iron, but instead pulled out the red mystical sword in his hand and thrusted it towards the Sovereign King. The might of the sword was brilliant, fierce, and brutal, without any hesitation. The Sovereign King's heart jumped. He did not expect the man to actually do that, and immediately activated a mystical technique to block. He opened his mouth wide and spat out a piece of black cloth with a large number of blood patterns on it. It quickly spread out in front of him. The black cloth was like a shield and was incomparably sturdy. There was even a picture of an evil spirit imprinted on it. The immortal mystical scarlet blood sword pierced the black cloth, but did not pierce it. Seeing that, Su Yun immediately retracted his technique and retreated. Seeing that, the Sovereign King immediately laughed out loud. "Rascal, you sure are crafty. You actually want to sneak an attack on me? But it was useless. Do you think that you can defeat me with that little trick of yours? You can't win." Su Yun asked. Seeing that, the Sovereign King was startled. He suddenly felt that something was amiss, and anxiously kept the black cloth, only to see that where the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword had pierced, there was a red dot the size of a rice grain. "Oh no, is this a mark?" The Sovereign King's face changed. The red dot suddenly flashed, and in the blink of an eye, a suffocating pressure attacked. The Sovereign King hurriedly threw away the black cloth, but it was too late. Su Yun threw the sword sheath on his back over, and the moment the sword sheath flew over, countless of bizarre light beams that resembled berserk dragons exploded out from the sword sheath, shooting in all directions. The black cloth was instantly shredded into pieces, and the Sovereign King was completely enveloped by the light aura. A powerful force that caused all living beings to submit enveloped the entire Evil King City. Roar! A deafening roar erupted from the invisible pressure in the surroundings. It caused people to tremble. It caused people to tremble. It caused people to lose their will to fight. The Sovereign King felt that all the evil spirit chi in his body was being suppressed, and it was difficult for him to move. He tried his best to maintain his composure and looked around, but with just one look, he was already frozen like a wooden chicken. He was completely surrounded. In all directions, it was airtight. There were swords everywhere, densely packed, covering the sky and earth. They were all flying sharp swords. All of these swords surrounded the Sovereign King tightly, like an iron bucket. A gigantic sword god pillar appeared in Evil King City. The scene was grand and imposing. It was a magnificent sight. It was astonishing. What is this? Why are there so many swords? What kind of treasure is that? In Wu Xiang's eyes were wide open. The two of them retreated a few steps, not daring to go forward. And a large group of evil realm people who were rushing over, upon seeing the grand scene, all stopped in their tracks and looked over. There were over 1,000 swords. And all of these swords were not ordinary. Every single one of them was filled with endless sword concept, endless spirituality, mystical evil aura technique. The Sovereign King was forced into a corner. He roared, both of his hands striking out in all directions. A large amount of black light burst forth. Upon contact with the ground, it instantly dissolved, but upon contact with the sharp swords, it was blocked by the dense sword concept that leaked out from the swords. The Sovereign King was truly not weak, But Su Yun, who had activated the heavenly crystal and pulled out the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword, was even stronger. Seeing that his mystical technique could not break through the sword surrounding him, the Sovereign King gave it his all. He took out a bead, flipped his hand, activated the bead, and then threw it out. Bang! The bead exploded, creating a whirlpool. It actually wanted to pull all the swords into the whirlpool and destroy them. Just that, the 1,000 overswords did not want to delay any longer. When the whirlpool appeared, the 1,000 overswords immediately slashed forward, actually slicing the whirlpool into pieces, and then all pierced towards the Sovereign King. The 1,000 overswords attacked at the same time, like a few divine dragons pouncing. The Sovereign King wanted to dodge, but there was nowhere to dodge. He had no choice but to take it head-on. Heaven Essence, Evil Force. The Sovereign King raised both of his hands into the air. Woo! An evil spirit's sinister face appeared around him, protecting the 1,000 swords that were attacking him. The 1,000 swords struck the evil spirit's face, but were unable to enter. Seeing that, the Sovereign King heaved a sigh of relief. But he did not know that Su Yun did not use much strength. It was the first time he had pulled out the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword. Because of the heavenly crystal, he had withstood the might of the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword. But Su Yun was not familiar with the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword and the 1,000 over swords that it controlled, and was unable to unleash the full power of the twin swords. Su Yun raised the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword, activating the evil spirit divine eyes on his body. He activated the great evil sword technique and waved his sword. Voila! The 1,000 swords that were attacking the Sovereign King suddenly retracted, and with him as the center, they started to revolve. Su Yun danced in the air. The more he danced, the faster he became. The scarlet red sword in his hand had already become blood red and pitch black. The evil chi was cold and imposing. The sword concept was mighty. At the same time, the 1,000 swords revolving around the Sovereign King also became pitch black. Every single sword was filled with evil chi. Not good. The Sovereign King knew that Su Yun had activated another technique. Looking at Su Yun, who was controlling the 1,000 swords outside the sword wall, he clenched his teeth. His face turned sinister. His entire body released a dense evil chi and directly rushed outwards. His body was enveloped by evil energy, and his skinny body suddenly became strong. His muscles bulged, and his eyes widened. Even his body seemed to have grown a size bigger. It was unknown how strong his strength was, but with every step he took, the ground would crack open. Then, he had underestimated the might of the sub-swords controlled by the twin swords. They were both sub-swords that had been subdued, but the 100 flying swords controlled by the Death Sword could not be compared to the sub-swords controlled by the immortal mystical Scarlet Blood Sword. These sub-swords were bestowed with even more power by the immortal mystical Scarlet Blood Sword, and were bestowed with even more powerful sword concepts. The 1,000 swords quickly revolved, like a tornado revolving around the Sovereign King's body. Every sword became pitch black, and indistinctly, evil roars could be heard. Suddenly, an evil spirit came out from one of the sub-swords. The evil spirit brandished its sharp claws and fiercely clawed at the Sovereign King. Chila! The sharp claws brushed against his body, bringing forth a large amount of sparks, and a shallow mark appeared. It doesn't hurt nor itch. The Sovereign King snorted. But just as he said that, all the swords around him suddenly released evil spirits. There were over 1,000 of them. The evil spirits formed a tornado of claws, crazily slashing at the Sovereign King's body. A large amount of sparks exploded, and countless of marks landed on the Sovereign King's body. The Sovereign King was startled. Over 1,000 evil spirits. How terrifying was that? Ah! A miserable scream came out. The Sovereign King was surrounded by the sharp claws. His entire body was covered in evil blood. He was unable to move forward. His entire being was surrounded by the evil spirits, and was unable to escape. Ing En and Wu Xiang, who were watching from outside, had ugly expressions on their faces. I can't see through his cultivation at all. Wu Xiang clenched his teeth and spoke to Ingen. What do we do? Are we just going to watch the Sovereign King die like that? What else can we do? Anne's face turned black and said softly, "Become enemies with him? His methods are enough to fight against an almighty spirit star realm cultivator. What cultivation do we have? Fighting with him is simply seeking death. Now that he is targeting the Sovereign King, we better not make a move." A large number of evil realm experts rushed out from the Sovereign King's mansion, but when they saw the Sovereign King being attacked by the 1,000 spirits, all of them stopped in their tracks. The evil realm people were not stupid. They knew the opponent was strong. They followed the Sovereign King purely to gain benefits. They had no feelings for the Sovereign King, so why would they risk their lives for the Sovereign King? Su Yun stared at the Sovereign King in the 1,000-sword storm. His eyes turned cold. He suddenly pulled out the death sword from the sword sheath and suddenly rushed forward. After images appeared. He and his sword were like a ferocious lion, bringing along an unstoppable pressure, crashing into the Sovereign King. The Sovereign King was forced into a desperate situation by the 1,000-sword storm. He was already staking it all on one throw. Seeing Su Yun rushing over, he used the last of his strength. But seeing that his entire body was riddled with wounds, he activated an unknown treasure. His right eye released a ray of multicolored light. Following that, the multicolored light enveloped his entire body, and when the 1,000-sword storm attacked his body again, it was unable to cause any more injuries. The Sovereign King stabilized himself. His blazing eyes stared at Su Yun, and both of his hands suddenly raised into the air. Netherworld Evil Claw. Dong, 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 dong. Countless of 1 meter tall evil claws shot out from the ground, quickly grabbing onto Su Yun's legs and body, locking him in place. He wanted to use his sword to cut off the evil claws, but there were too many evil claws around him. They restrained Su Yun's arms and wrists, not allowing him to move at all. Every evil claw's power was incomparably huge. It was shocking. The Sovereign King rushed forward again, smashing away the 1,000 swords, and rushed towards Su Yun. The blazing evil eyes were filled with unquenchable anger. The power of these evil claws is equivalent to my power. You won't be able to break free. You're dead. I want to eat you alive. Despicable ant. With that said, the Sovereign King opened his mouth wide. His mouth actually enlarged by a few times and directly bit towards Su Yun's head. Su Yun looked at the man. His expression did not change. He did not panic and loosened his grip on the death sword. In that moment, the death sword was controlled by Su Yun's profound spirit chi. Like an arrow released from a bow, it shot straight into the Sovereign King's mouth. Pucci! The Sovereign King's mouth was pierced by the death sword, and he was nailed back. His face contorted. He was in extreme pain and immediately extended both of his hands, wanted to pull out the death sword from his mouth. But just at this time, the death sword's unique absorption ability was activated again. A strange gudong sound resonated out, and the Sovereign King's body actually quickly shriveled up. Woo! 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 The Sovereign King fell to the ground, his body frantically rolling, his mouth releasing a woo-woo sound. All the tendons on his body popped out, but no matter how he struggled, the death sword seemed to be stuck to his body. In a short while, the Sovereign King, who was a tyrant in Evil King City, was sucked dry by the death sword. Even his soul could not be preserved, and he was completely dead. Voila! The surrounding evil claws dissipated, announcing the fall of a strong martial artist. Chapter 243. Su Yun walked over and retrieved the death sword from the mummy and kept it back into the sword sheath. The Sovereign King was lifeless. His entire body was shriveled and stuck to the ground. Su Yun took the ring on his finger and retrieved the pitch-black evil plate hanging on his waist. After breaking the seal on the ring, he found that there were still a lot of broken magic treasures inside. However, what made him happy was that there were still some magic treasures that were not broken. This was especially true for the mysterious void iron, which was quietly lying inside. Great! With this mystical void iron, I'm only missing 2 items. Su Yun happily placed the mystical void iron into his own storage ring. Ingen greets Master Sovereign King. Just as he was feeling happy about obtaining the mystical void iron, a sincere voice came out from the other side. He was startled. He turned to look, only to see Ying cupping his fists and bowing respectfully to Su Yun. What was he doing? Su Yun was startled. Wu Xiang, who was at the side, also turned around. He quickly followed Ying's actions and cupped his fists and bowed to Su Yun. Wu Xiang greets Master Sovereign King. Since the two great leaders had said so, how would the evil realm people who were following the Sovereign King in the mansion dare to resist? They immediately knelt down and kowtowed to Su Yun. We greet Master Sovereign King. Sovereign King? Su Yun was stunned. Then he understood. He had defeated the previous Sovereign King and replaced him as the new Sovereign King. It was reasonable for these people to bow to him. He never thought that he would be able to benefit from it. After becoming the Sovereign King, there will definitely be a large group of evil realm people following me. In this evil king city, I will have some influence. Maybe I can make use of them to help me find the remaining two ingredients. This is much easier than searching for them alone. Su Yun thought, then happily agreed. Looking at the evil realm people who were still bowing to him, he shouted, "Dispense with the formalities." "Thank you, Sovereign King." A tsunami of cheers sounded out. Chun Yun, who was on the other side, was crying tears of joy. She never expected that the person who was most likely from the evil sword sect would be so powerful. He could completely suppress the Sovereign King, and the Sovereign King could not even retaliate. Congratulations, Master, for becoming a Sovereign King. Evil King City has another rising star. Ingen cupped his fists and walked over with a smile. Although Su Yun did not have much contact with him, he could tell that he was a fox when he saw how nimble he was. Su Yun laughed and was too lazy to respond to him. He walked towards the cauldron. The evil realm people beside the cauldron opened their eyes wide, all of them looking at Su Yun with hope and pleading eyes. They did not expect the evil being to be so powerful, to actually be able to kill the Sovereign King. Now that something had happened to the altar, they naturally hoped that the new king would be merciful and let them go. Su Yun's gaze swept across every single one of them and realized that there were many 10th stage Spirit Core disciple and 1st stage Spirit Soul disciple. He thought for a moment, then said, "Let them all go." "Yes, Master Sovereign King." The evil realm people by the side quickly cupped their fists, not daring to be slow, and unlocked the cuffs on every single one of them. In a moment, the evil realm people cheered. "Thank you, Master Sovereign King." "Thank you, Master Sovereign King." Every single one of the evil realm people were grateful and cried tears of joy, especially Chun Yun. She felt that everything was like a dream. Actually, Su Yun had his own plans. He did not want to refine evil weapons, so killing these evil realm people was useless. Furthermore, he believed that these captured evil realm people would follow him. After all, in Evil King City, it was hard for evil realm people without any power to stay. As expected, the evil realm people who were released were grateful to Su Yun for saving their lives. They all knelt down, and on the surface, they were willing to follow Su Yun. Su Yun did not stand on ceremony and accepted all of them. These people would be his most loyal subordinates. Su Yun. Chun Yun ran over. She wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes filled with unconcealable worship, and laughed. "You're so powerful. You're actually so strong." "I said we'll be safe and sound." Su Yun laughed. Chun Yun's face was burning. Looking at the pale face under the cape, her face flushed red, and she did not know what to say. "Chi-la-la." Just at this time, an ear-piercing sound came out. Following that, a large number of evil realm people flew over. The pressure slowly increased, and in the end, it actually rose to an unprecedented level that no one could withstand. The Almighty Being was here. The surrounding evil realm people looked at the incoming person. Their expressions were all anxious, and they all retreated. The dense pressure enveloped the entire altar. "Sovereign King? What's Sovereign King? We didn't admit it. You ain't. It's better for you to submit to us." With that said, a few experts rushed over. "It's Guang Xian King and Dao Tian Mu." Wu Xiang's face suddenly became ugly. "Those guys? Humph. I'm afraid they're just hiding at the side, waiting for this person to finish off the Sovereign King. Then they'll come out and reap the benefits. If they kill this person, All the resources and treasures of the Sovereign King will belong to them. Ingen snorted angrily. Brother Ingen, what do you think we should do now? Wu Xiang asked softly. Let's wait and see. Ingen said softly, we are the weakest in Evil King City. We can only rely on others. These people are all at the peak of the 10th stage of the Spirit Soul realm. That person fought with the Sovereign King. We don't know how strong he is. If he loses, we'll be in trouble. At this time, it's best not to help either side, of course. We shouldn't fight for anything. I'm afraid the situation in Evil King City is going to change. Don't be a sacrifice. All right, then we'll wait and see. Wu Xiang said softly. Su Yin held on to the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword and death sword and looked towards the source of the voice. To see more than 1,000 evil realm people walking into the altar, the few leading evil realm people had extremely strong qi. The leading evil realm person was actually 3 m tall. His eyes were like copper bells. He was extremely dignified. It made people want to kneel down and worship him. This was the master of the other evil realm people. Submit to you? Su Yun frowned. That's right, submit to us. The leading evil realm person snorted. Hand over your precious divine swords. If not, we will make sure you die without a burial. Oh, Su Yin raised his head and stared at the evil realm people, his evil eyes revealing a blazing passion. He raised both his swords and pointed them at the evil realm people, and said, if you have the ability, then come. Maybe I can't kill all of you, but I can swear the first person who goes up first will definitely die under my sword. With that said, the group of evil realm people's faces immediately became ugly. They were indeed hiding at the side watching, and knew of Su Yun's strength. A few of the almighty beings could see that Su Yun did not use his full strength to kill the Sovereign King. So it was obvious that he had the fighting strength of a first-stage spirit star realm cultivator. Even if he fought, no one dared to guarantee that Su Yun was at the end of his rope. But the 3 m tall evil realm person was obviously not afraid of Su Yun's threat. He screamed out loud, his expression sinister as he stared at Su Yun, and roared, that means you're not willing to submit? Maybe I shouldn't waste my saliva. Su Yun pinched his sword to death and activated his spirit essences. That was the rhythm of the battle. Su Yun, Chun, Yun panicked. Yun, stand behind me, Su Yun said softly. Chun Yun was startled. Her expression tensed up. She bit her lips and said, Su Yun, I'll be with you. I'm at least a second-stage spirit soul realm cultivator. I'm not afraid of them. Second-stage spirit soul realm? Hearing that, Su Yun laughed bitterly. In the current situation, a second-stage spirit soul realm cultivator was no different from cannon fodder. So, just as Su Yun and Shani Yun were conversing, the evil realm person made his move. He raised his thick and sturdy long hand, straight towards Su Yun. His sharp fingers moved. His 5 fingers actually fused together, transforming into an extremely sharp javelin, thrusting towards Su Yun's heart. So fast. That was a sneak attack. But in the evil realm, there was no such thing as a sneak attack. The evil realm people would never scold others for being despicable and shameless. Because treacherous and cunning was the nature of the evil realm people, people would only recognize the winner. Su Yun suddenly turned, staring at the incoming javelin. His expression was not the least bit fearful. Instead, his pair of evil eyes exploded with an unprecedented malevolence and madness. I have 2 swords. Why should I fear the world? The immortal mystical scarlet blood and death swords' temperature rose. The 2 swords became berserk. Dong! Both swords flew out, ruthlessly exploding onto the javelin. Su Yun's entire body's strength directly collided with it, causing the javelin and the evil realm person that was rushing over to be pushed back. Ripples surged. Evil chi surged crazily. Everyone was in an uproar. Su Yun's strength was actually so strong. To be able to fight against the emperor and queen, and to be able to contend against Guang Xian Wang, who was famed for his strength and speed, it showed his strength. Guang Xian Wang suffered from Su Yun's sneak attack. His heart was filled with anger. He thought that with his sneak attack, he would be able to catch Su Yun unprepared, who knew that Su Yun's reaction was so fast, and his strength was so strong that it was unbelievable. Damn it! Guang Xian Wang's expression turned cold. His eyes were like ice blades. He no longer had any kindness. He raised his hand and said coldly, "Aunt, you don't know how to appreciate my kindness. Don't say that I didn't give you a chance. Since you're not willing to submit to us, then fine. We'll destroy you." With that said, all the evil realm people behind Guang, X, and Wang all activated their evil chi, took out their treasures. One after another, sinister and terrifying evil faces rushed towards Su Yun, like a group of demons roaring. Chun Yun's face was pale. Her body was still trembling. All the evil realm people in front of her, almost every one of them could kill her. She did not know where she got the courage to stand up and fight alongside Su Yun. Su Yun was not afraid. He stared at the army in front of him and stood there calmly. One black and one red. The two swords vibrated lightly, like a long song splitting the sky. Shio, 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 shio. Just at this time, a large number of 2 long black swords suddenly flew down from the sky. They were like meteors crashing into the group of evil realm people. In a blink of an eye, a large number of evil realm people's heads were pierced. Poochie, poochie, pooch endless dense, sword intent rippled out. The demonic sharp swords pierced the ground full of holes. This sudden change shocked everyone. What's going on? The altar was in an uproar. Everyone looked up to the sky, only to see a pitch-black evil cloud floating towards them. Inside the evil cloud, a large number of evil realm people flew out. The leader was a white-haired evil realm person, directly rushing towards Guang, Xi, and Wang. "Aunt, kneel!" The incoming person shouted. Guang, Xi, and Wang was startled. He asked, "Who are you?" But the evil realm person did not reply. Instead, his entire body exploded with killing intent. As though he did not want to waste his breath, he directly extended his finger, pointed at Guang, Xi, and Wang, his fingertip releasing a terrifying sword aura, killing him. Guang, Xi, and Wang's heart jumped. He immediately took out 3 treasures, a shield, a mirror, a stone wall blocking in front of him. Dong, dong, dong. The sword aura pierced through all of them like paper, finally piercing Guang, Xi, and Wang's heart. "Ah!" Guang, Xi, and Wang screamed. So strong. Su Yun's expression tensed up. This was already an expert of the Spirit Star realm. He looked towards the group of evil realm people, only to see that they all had the same order badge on their waists, and this order badge was actually the order badge of the Evil Sword sect. Oh no, could it be that the experts of the Evil Sword sect are here? Su Yun's heart jumped. "Father!" Just then, Chun Yun, who was by his side, shouted out to the white-haired evil realm person. "Father!" Su Yun was stunned. Chapter 244. Guang, Xi, and Wang's face turned pale with fright when his heart was pierced through. He endured the pain and retreated hastily. However, the person did not have the intention to let him go. His body moved violently and instantly appeared behind Guang, Xi, and Wang. He reached out his hand and strangled Guang, Xi, and Wang's neck. Endless sword intent spread out from his palm and covered Guang, Xi, and Wang's entire body in the blink of an eye. Guang, Xi, and King's body was sliced into rice grain-sized pieces by the sword intent, and he died immediately. The soul flew out and fled in panic. However, that person directly tossed out a purple gourd. The mouth of the gourd produced a large amount of suction force and directly sucked the soul in. Since Guang, Xi, and Wang was like that, the evil people who came with him did not have a good ending either. The group of Evil Sword sect, people who descended from the sky, were like slaughtering pigs and dogs. They killed all of the evil people without leaving a single one alive. Even their souls were not spared. A large amount of evil blood splattered everywhere. Miserable screams could be heard as evil blood gushed out. Today was the doomsday of the leader of Evil King City. The white-haired evil man stared at them expressionlessly, his eyes cold and emotionless. Who is this person? Su Yun's heart tightened. He had been in the Evil Sword sect for a period of time, but he had never seen this person before. Seeing how he killed a 10th-stage spirit soul cultivator in less than an incense stick worth of time, he must be at least a 2nd-stage spirit star realm cultivator. "Dad!" Chun Yun ran towards the white-haired man happily. Her face was filled with joy as she pounced towards the man like a swallow returning to its nest. The man turned around and saw Chun Yun pouncing towards him. His cold face revealed a tinge of love. He opened his arms and gently hugged Chun Yun. Su-Yun's mind was in chaos. So many experts of the evil sword sect were gathered here. Even the law enforcement clan elder was there. He could not delay any further. He immediately took the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword and the death sword and turned to leave. Try to leave? At this moment, the white-haired man snorted and let go of Chun Yun. Like a black light, he dashed towards them. Father, no! Chun Yun shouted anxiously, but it was too late. Su-Yun's expression tensed up. He released the death sword and held onto the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword with both hands, blocking the black light. Bang! The two of them clashed, and a surging, profound chi spread out like a wave, causing the ground to crack and the altars to crumble. The evil people who were nearby were all thrown off their horses, and a powerful force caused the two of them to retreat. Su-Yun's footsteps were slightly messy. At that moment, the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword in his hand still had a berserk power. He clenched his teeth and withstood the power until it dissipated. If not for the fact that the immortal mystical scarlet blood sword was a primal sword and was of a high grade, it would have been shattered by that attack. Calming himself down, he looked at the white-haired man. He had already stabilized his body and looked at Su-Yun without any ripples. That's right. Not bad. Although you used a magic treasure to increase your cultivation, your reaction speed and willpower are not bad. You were actually able to withstand my attack. The white-haired man nodded repeatedly. The evil people at the side were all dumbstruck as they looked at Su-Yun in astonishment. He never thought that Su-Yun would actually have the strength to forcefully receive the white-haired man's attack. However, Su-Yun was not done. He smiled and did not say a word. Whoosh! A ray of black light shot out from the white-haired man's back and directly pierced towards his neck. The light ray was so fast that even the people behind the white-haired man could not react in time. The white-haired man suddenly turned, but in the moment he turned, the death sword had already reached him. Just that in that moment, the white-haired man's body suddenly turned into nothingness. Clang! The death sword directly pierced through his body and fiercely stabbed into the ground. He dodged it. Was that a mystical technique? Su-Yun's eyes tensed up. Seems like a Spirit Star Realm expert was not easy to deal with. Even if he could not win, he could still run. Su-Yun retracted his hand, and the death sword immediately flew back. Then, without waiting for him to retreat, Chun Yun ran over and stood in front of Su-Yun, her small face filled with anger as she stared at the white-haired man and the rest. Father, what did you do? Limitless saved me. How can you make a move on him? Limitless. The white-haired man frowned, and then revealed a bitter smile. He looked at Su-Yun and said, This is a different matter. Rascal, you saved my daughter, so I owe you a favor. Or should I say, the entire evil sword sect owes you a favor. But come to think of it, how do you plan to settle the matter of you secretly learning our evil sword sect's sword techniques? Secretly learning the evil sword technique? Chun Yun was startled. She suddenly turned her head and looked at the cloaked man behind her. Your evil sword technique was secretly learned from others? How is that possible? Chun Yun's face was filled with disbelief. She asked, Limitless, how did you secretly learn the evil sword technique of my evil sword sect? And it was practiced to such an exquisite level? Chun Yun could not believe it. Was the evil sword technique something that could be learned just because one wanted to? I'm sorry, Yun. I hid it from you. I have a name called Limitless, but my real name is Su-Yun. He raised his head and said softly, Su-Yun? Chun Yun was startled. Then her face turned into one of realization. So you're Su-Yun? The guy that is wanted by the evil sword sect. It's time to leave. Su-Yun secretly gathered his energy. He felt that he should not stay here for long. However, the white-haired man did not attack him. Instead, he shook his head. Su-Yun, you don't have to rush to leave. This time, we're not here to capture you. Don't worry. Oh, Su-Yun heard and looked at him curiously. Speaking of which, who are you? Even a law enforcement clan elder was following behind him. Su-Yun had already guessed his identity, but he could not be sure. Su-Yun, you idiot. This is the sect leader of the evil sword sect. You better recognize him. The law enforcement clan elder snorted and said loudly. Sect leader? Su Yun was stunned. You have unintentionally saved the little princess of the evil sword sect. If not for this, the evil sword sect would not have let you off. But since you have saved Yun, as a form of repayment, I shall give up on the evil sword sect's hunt for you. The white-haired man said. Huh? Is there such a good thing? Do you think Chun Tianxia, will lie to you? Su Yun heard and nodded his head. He heaved a sigh of relief and thought that he was lucky. He cupped his fists and said, If that's the case, then thank you very much. Don't be in such a hurry to thank me. Tianxia's sect leader said. You think we don't know? Not only did you secretly learn the techniques of the evil sword sect, you even impersonated as a disciple of the Black Evil Cave Mansion. Speaking of which, you're not from the Black Evil Cave Mansion. Why did you impersonate? If I didn't impersonate, it would not be easy to enter the cave mansion. You're really daring. Luckily, the evil sword sect did not investigate this matter in time. If not, the Black Evil Lord would not let you off. Su Yun, you learned the blood evil sword technique, right? Just then, Tianxia asked again. Blood evil sword technique? You mean the great evil sword technique? Great evil sword technique? What a unique name. But for you to be able to learn such a terrifying sword technique, good luck. Good luck, is it fated? Su Yun, let me ask you, since you're not from the Black Evil Cave Mansion, then are you willing to join the evil sword sect? Become my disciple? The sect leader of the heavenly evil sect stared at Su Yun with a serious expression. No one knew that he would have such thoughts. Chun Yun, who was at the side, immediately turned and looked at him anxiously. Her eyes were filled with anticipation. Su Yun heard and was stunned for a while before he reacted. Rascal, why aren't you kneeling down and thanking the sect leader? This is good luck. How many people wish for it but can't get it? Now that you've gotten the opportunity, why aren't you coming over? The experts from the evil sword sect shouted, as though they were the ones who wanted to be his disciple. But Su Yun hesitated for a while and shook his head lightly. Thank you, Tianxia sect leader, for your kind intentions, but I have to return to the human realm. I will not be staying in the evil sword sect for long, so please forgive me. He was just a human, not an evil realm person. Tianxia might forgive him for secretly learning the evil sword technique on account of him saving Chun Yun. But if he was a human, he would not be able to accept it. To interact with someone like Tianxia, it would be difficult to hide his identity. If he was discovered, he would die a horrible death. So it was better to reject him. Su Yun, didn't you want to learn the evil sword technique? My father can teach you. How are you going to reject him? Chun Yun could not understand and looked at Su Yun anxiously. Yun, I'm sorry. I still have things to do. I can't stay in the evil sword sect. Chun Yun looked down helplessly. Just then, Tianxia snorted and said, Su Yun, you've learned my evil sword technique, and you still don't want to admit it? What does it have to do with going to the human realm or not? If you go to the human realm, can't you join the evil sword sect? Su Yun, if you don't join the evil sword sect, you will still be wanted by the evil sword sect. We will capture you, pull out your bones, pull out your skin, and refine you alive. The law enforcement elder shouted loudly. Hearing that, Su Yun's face was full of sweat. Didn't you say you won't capture me? I only said I won't capture you today. I didn't say I won't capture you in the future. The white-haired man crossed his arms and laughed. Moreover, I'm stronger than you. I can go back on my words. That was really straightforward. Su Yun said helplessly, Tianxia sect leader, are you saying that if I join the evil sword sect, I can still go to the human realm? Where you go is your business. But you've already learned the evil sword technique. You have to join the evil sword sect. That way, you will not damage the prestige of the evil sword sect. I've already joined another sect. Which sect? Limitless Sword Sect. Never heard of it. What's so good about joining a small sect? You can just join the evil sword sect. When that time comes, you can go wherever you want. Why? Do you think the evil sword sect will stop you? Oh, if that's the case, then Su Yun will accept it. Su Yun could only agree. The power of the heavenly crystal was about to dissipate. The opponent had so many experts. He really cannot fight them. You finally know what's good for you. There are benefits in front of you, and you still reject it. What a waste of time. The white-haired man shook his head. Once you join the evil sword sect, don't throw the face of the evil sword sect. Su Yun, you're on your own. With that said, he leaped up. Like a black arrow, he pierced through the sky. A group of evil people saw and immediately followed. They came fast and left fast. Chun Yun was elated. She ran to Su Yun and smiled. Congratulations, junior brother Su. You're part of the evil sword sect now. Your father forced me to do this. I have no intention of joining. If you don't join, the evil sword sect will lose face. I understand, but I'm leaving the evil realm soon. Must you leave? Yes. Will you come back in the future? I'm not sure. Oh. Chun Yun's eyes darkened. Her face was lonely. Su Yun. Just then, the law enforcement clan elder bellowed. Su Yun looked over and saw the law enforcement clan elder handing him an order badge. Taking the order badge, he looked at it. It was the evil sword sect disciple order badge. You're about to leave the evil realm. To protect the safety of the disciples of the evil sword sect, the sect leader requested me to give you a special order badge. If you meet with any danger outside, use this order badge to inform the sword sect. The sword sect will send experts to help you. Take care. With that, the law enforcement clan elder walked towards Chun Yun and cupped his fists. Miss, let's go back. Su Yun was stunned. He stared blankly at the black order badge with evil spirit patterns on it. He was in a trance. He had unintentionally saved Chun Yun. Was there a need to treat him like this? Chun Yun could not stay for long. She looked at Su Yun and asked gently, Su Yun, remember to come back soon. I'll wait for you at the sword sect, all right? Wait for me. Su Yun was stunned, but seeing Chun Yun's eyes filled with anticipation, he nodded. If there's a chance, I'll return to the sword sect to visit you guys. Hearing that, Chun Yun broke into a smile. Let's go, miss. The law enforcement clan elder called out again. Chun Yun nodded her head and looked at Su Yun reluctantly. She said her goodbyes softly and then flew into the horizon. Chapter 245. The sect leader of the evil sword sect left. He did not explain anything about the great evil sword technique to Su Yun. He only asked the law enforcement clan elder to leave behind a weird order badge. Su Yun never thought that he, a person who was being chased by the evil sword sect, would actually forget about the past and even join the evil sword sect. Everything was like a dream. He heaved a sigh of relief. It was unbelievable. Just that. Why did it turn out like this? Why did Chen Tianxia want him to join the evil sword sect? Master! Master! Just then, a trembling voice came from the side. Su Yun regained his senses. He looked over to see Ying, En, and the rest kneeling on the ground. They were trembling as they kowtowed to him. Evil King City was located in the center of the city. Every day, there would be a large flow of evil realm people. It was famous too, but this did not mean that it was the strongest. The evil sword sect had always been low profile, but no one would have thought that the evil sword sect would be so powerful. They had been entrenched in the evil King City for so many years. But today they were all killed. How could Ying En and Wu Xiang not be afraid? Su Yun naturally knew what Ying En and Wu Xiang were thinking. They naturally heard the conversation between the sect leader of the Evil Sky sect, adding the order badge that the law enforcement clan elder had given them. They were sure that Su Yun had the support of the Evil Sword sect to be able to easily kill the Evil King City's great Evil Sword sect. How could they offend him? How could they not immediately bow down to him? All of you stand up and speak, Su Yun said. He thought for a while and pretended to walk to the Sovereign King's throne. He waved his hand and shouted, Now that the great Evil Sword sect is dead, no one in the Evil King City is my match. I am the king of the Evil King City. Ying Wu Xiang, if you are willing to listen to me and submit to me, I will not kill you. Especially you, Ying. Don't think that I don't know what you are thinking. If I find out that you have any tricks up your sleeves, I will destroy your soul, and you will never be able to reincarnate. When Ying heard that, his body went soft. He quickly kneeled down and shouted, Yes, yes, Master. Ying will follow you forever. I will not dare to have any other thoughts. I will not dare. Wu Xiang too. Wu Xiang said anxiously. All the evil beings in the mansion all ran out and knelt before Su Yun. Now that a large number of the great leaders were dead, it was time for the dynasty to change. Speaking of which, Tian Xie had given Su Yun a huge gift by killing all the great leaders here and declaring his position in front of everyone. Wasn't that equivalent to giving him the entire evil king city? Very good. Su Yun nodded his head and pretended to be deep in thought. If you follow me, I will not treat you unfairly. I'm still lacking 2 capable assistants. Help me solve my problems and handle all the matters in Evil King City. Is there anyone among you who is willing to do your utmost for me until the day of your death? My lord, I'm willing to serve my lord. I'll go through fire and water without hesitation. This lowly one is willing to sacrifice his life for Sir. Sir, I'm willing. The group of evil spirits rushed forward and shouted loudly. Although many of them were not as strong as Ying En and Wu Xiang, they did not care. This was an opportunity to rise to the top, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. As long as he rose to the top, he would be in control of a large amount of resources. Would he still have to worry about his low cultivation? You're looking for death. You bunch of ants. Are you worthy to be the master's capable assistants? Get lost. Wu Xiang was infuriated and shouted at the evil spirits. The evil spirits trembled but did not retreat. The sovereign king was here. What were they afraid of? Su Yun looked at the evil spirits and said, Since you're a capable assistant, you naturally need to be capable. Cultivation is not important. I don't want a useless person to be in this position. Since everyone is so passionate, then let's have a test. Those who pass the test will stay by my side and help me manage Evil King City. Those who are capable will be in charge. Does anyone have any objections? With that said, the evil spirits held their breath and looked at Su Yun. The entire broken altar immediately quietened down. Su Yun opened his mouth. Whoever can find me violet 7 leaves and roasted red blood, even if it's just one, will be promoted. The bright white moonlight enveloped the mountains, making the mountains look hazy. It was a beautiful sight. The wind blew gently, bringing with it an unfathomable, killing intent. Halfway up the mountain, a group of people slowly walked over. On top of the mountain, Hu Qianmei glanced at the mountainside, then turned to the lady in jade-green robes and said, He should be here soon. How is it? Are you confident? An existence that is about to step into the spirit star realm. To be honest, unless I am a few levels higher than him, to kill him in such a short time is very difficult. If I can't kill him, I can cripple him. Hu Qianmei's eyes were filled with dense, killing intent. She said, Destroying his cultivation is enough. Why don't you try to poison him? My spirit demon Dao's poison is silent and formless. It can easily seep into any existence. This is Ming Ing School's territory. If he can't beat me, he will definitely escape to Ming Ing School. Your sect leader is a problem. I still have a plan. I don't want to complicate things. This time, I am very hasty, and I don't have much confidence. If I could use poison, I would have used it a long time ago. You don't know. This person is very cautious. He has a good understanding of poison. Using poison is impossible. This time, I used the marriage as a pretext to trick him to come here. If he had something to do, he would definitely not come here for no reason. If that's the case, compared to you, he is more like a fox. Of course, and he is an old fox. Interesting. The lady in jade green robe smiled. She looked at Hu Qianmei and asked, If that's the case, why didn't you agree to his request and become dual cultivation partners with him? His strength is not bad. His mind is not bad, too. Following him will not be bad. At least he is better than that Su Yun, right? Why? Don't tell me you really like that Su Yun? Hearing that, Hu Qianmei's face changed. She snorted. You like that Su Yun? What's so good about that Su Yun? You don't even understand the reason behind it. No matter how weak Su Yun is, or how strong Lu Xindong is, I don't care. I, Hu Qianmei, just want to be alone. Why should I attach myself to a man? If you say that, why don't I introduce you to Lu Xindong? With your looks, I believe he won't reject you. Hearing that, The lady in jade green robes did not speak anymore. Just then, a weird-looking, skinny skeleton-like existence ran over. It landed beside the lady and whispered a bunch of demon language. The lady in jade green robes nodded her head and frowned. "What's wrong?" Hu Qianmei asked indifferently. "The Mountain River list is about to open. Regardless of whether the mission is successful or not, I will leave and head to the northern continent." "Don't tell me your spirit demon Dao also has someone selected as a seated participant? If that's the case, then I will have to support you when the time comes. The purpose of us coming to Sky Martial Continent is to find some items with strong spiritual nature. The spirit demon Dao is lacking in resources. We can only place our hopes on Sky Martial Continent. The Mountain River list has gathered many experts. We will be very interested in the items on them. So I need to leave as soon as possible. What about the Immortal Sword Sect? I have cooperated with you twice. In the end, both missions failed. The Immortal Sword Sect is still intact. You can't even handle a small Immortal Sword Sect. You still want to go to the Mountain River list. Aren't you seeking death? The sect leader of the Immortal Sword Sect is out. He is not easy to deal with. But this time it's different. I have reinforcements. Reinforcements? Who? Forgive me for not being able to tell you. Hearing that, Hu Qianmei was a little unhappy. But this was her problem, so she did not ask. "Princess, they're here." Just then, another little spirit demon ran over and whispered to the lady in jade green robes. "Get everyone ready. We can make our move anytime." "Yes." The little spirit demon ran down. The lady in jade green robes turned her head and looked at Hu Qianmei. "After this collaboration, please do not go back on your words. Don't worry. I will give you the map of the Immortal Sword Sect with both hands." Hu Qianmei pursed her lips. Her big eyes revealed a trace of craftiness. "Very good." The lady in jade green robes nodded her head. Then, she disappeared to the side and hid. Hu Qianmei led her 2 personal maids and stood there waiting. Not long after, Lu Xiandong brought his men up the mountain. Seeing Hu Qianmei, Lu Xiandong's expressionless face finally revealed a smile. "Protector, Hu, why did you ask me to come here in the middle of the night?" He walked over and asked softly, but Hu Qianmei's face was flushed red. She looked shy and coy. "Didn't I ask you to come up alone? Why did you bring so many people? It'll be inconvenient to do anything later." Seeing that, Lu Xiandong was stunned. He had never seen such a charming Hu Qianmei. He almost could not react. After a while, he laughed out loud. "Ha ha ha. Protector, Hu, don't tell me you've thought it through? You plan to obey me? AI. It's all my fault. I'm a cautious person. I don't know what Protector Hu is thinking. I'm sorry. I'm rude. But when I went up the mountain, I smelled something weird. I always felt that there were uninvited guests here. So I brought more people. Is that so? Perhaps that strange smell is the smell of the rouge and face powder on my body. Today, Qianmei has dressed up meticulously in order to meet Protector Lu. This rouge is also the best new rouge in Square Heart City. Protector Lu, does it smell good? Oh, is this the smell of rouge? No wonder it smells good. But it's too far away. I can't smell it. Then come closer and smell it. Hu Qianmei smiled at Lu Xiandong. Lu Xiandong hesitated for a while. He did not go forward. What? Don't tell me Protector Lu thinks that Qianmei has ulterior motives? Sigh. Qianmei has already thought it through. Protector Lu's cultivation is high and his talent is extraordinary. If I can become your partner, Qianmei can be considered to have found a good home. At this time, what else can I understand? Protector Hu, you finally understand my infatuation. It's not a waste for me to do so much for you. Lu Xiandong laughed, but there was no joy in his eyes. The reason he married Hu Qianmei was only for her body, for the sake of breaking through, for the sake of cultivation. Everyone knew this. But how could Lu Xiandong not eat a dish that was delivered to his doorstep? He immediately walked towards Hu Qianmei, looking extremely arrogant. Then, just as Lu Xiandong was nearing Hu Qianmei, a red light suddenly exploded. Hu Qianmei suddenly pulled out the short sword from her waist and fiercely rushed towards Lu Xiandong. Her movements were as fast as lightning without any hesitation. Seeing that, Liu Xandong's face changed slightly. But very quickly, he recovered and said, "Protector Hu, don't tell me that your rouge was smeared on the short sword." "That's right. Come and smell it," Hu Qianmei said fiercely. The short sword flew forward. Sword intent was born. Dang, dang, dang. Numerous cold lights exploded. Liu Xiandong's fingers trembled. A large number of black needles shot out from his waist and wrapped around the red short sword. Hu Qianmei held on her own weapon tightly. She shouted to the demon woman who was hiding in the dark, "Do it!" The voice of the lady in green came out from the side. But just as she was about to give a signal to her subordinates to make their move, a ray of light suddenly appeared in the distant sky. The ray of light fell and immediately exploded. A gigantic flower of light appeared in the sky. The dark sky was illuminated by it. What? Seeing that, Hu Qianmei's face changed. "Protector Hu, I'm really sorry. Before I came, I've already informed the sect leader to come and take a look. Maybe there are other friends here who are worthy of us meeting." Liu Xiandong said with a proud face. "You." Hu Qianmei was extremely angry. Her full chest kept moving up and down. She knew that her thoughts had been detected by the other party. She immediately said to the demon woman beside her, "This place is quite a distance away from Ming Ying School. The sect leader will not rush here so quickly. Go, cripple Liu Xiandong first." Who knew that her words would be met with a period of silence. After a while, Hu Qianmei could clearly feel that the energy that was entrenched in the area was getting weaker and dissipating. "Hu Qianmei, I can't take the risk. Ming Ying School leader is not easy to deal with. This mission is canceled. I don't want all the blueprints of the Immortal Sword sect anymore. Goodbye." Damn it, Hu Qianmei was furious. She gritted her teeth and kept her short sword. She retreated to the side and stared at Liu Xiandong fiercely. She knew that the mission had failed. Although she was a fox, Liu Xiandong was more cautious and cunning than she thought. So, after a while, the flower of light shot out a thin white line and landed on the mountain. Chapter 246. Dong. The ray of light fell to the ground and exploded. A wave of qi rippled out. When all the energy disappeared, people saw a young man dressed in a black luxurious robe standing there. The man had sharp eyebrows and bright eyes. He had bangs on his forehead and a braid on his back. He looked rather carefree and unrestrained. When he appeared, Hu Qianmei, Liu Xiandong, and the rest all knelt down on one knee and greeted him. "Greetings, sect leader." Cheers rang out. "And dispense with the formalities," sect leader Zhang Wuming said indifferently. "Thank you, sect leader." Everyone stood up. Zhang Wuming's sword eyes scanned the people around him and asked solemnly, "It's already late. Why are you all gathered here?" This question I will have to ask Protector Hu. Liu Xiandong kept the black needle in his hand and crossed his arms. He looked at Hu Qianmei playfully. Hu Qianmei clenched her teeth and did not make a sound. Zhang Wuming looked at Hu Qianmei and asked, "Protector Hu, what's the matter? Tell me the truth." "What's the matter?" Hu Qianmei's face changed for a while. She asked with a soft voice, "Sect leader, this time I should be the one asking. Why do you have to decide for me, Hu Qianmei's marriage? Do you feel dissatisfied?" Zhang Wuming frowned and asked. Naturally, now that they had already fallen out, Hu Qianmei did not care anymore. She said, "Today, Qianmei wants to have a showdown with Protector Liu. No matter what, Qianmei will not be Protector Liu's dual cultivation partner. So this marriage, let's cancel it." "Why? You don't like Protector Liu?" "Huh." Hu Qianmei sized up Liu Xandong and said with disdain, "I, Hu Qianmei, would rather marry a pig or a dog than marry such a person." "Why?" "He's too ugly." Liu Xandong. Zhang Wuming hesitated for a while and said, "Protector Hu, I still hope that you can consider this. You two are a match made in heaven. I do not wish for you two to be unhappy because of this." "Then what does sect leader mean?" "You two must be together." "Why?" "Sect leader, are you forcing my hand?" "Protector Hu, your physique is special. If the two of you are together, you can share your talents, and it will be beneficial to both of you. especially Protector Lu Xiandong. He will definitely be able to cross the final ravine and enter the Spirit Star Realm in one go. And when Protector Lu enters the Spirit Star Realm, he can also help you enter the Spirit Star Realm. Like that, it will be beneficial to both of you. Isn't it a win-win situation? My Minging sect has obtained the support of 2 Spirit Star Realm experts. We will definitely be powerful and sweep through the entire region, and no one will be able to stop us. Zhang Wuming said slowly. Hearing that, Hu Qianmei understood Zhang Wuming's thoughts. The reason why he agreed to Lu Xiandong's suggestion was because he hoped that he could help the 2 10th stage Spirit Soul Realm cultivators to become Almighty Spirit Star Realm cultivators. That way, it would greatly increase the strength of the Ming-Ying sect. After all, the difference between a 1st stage Spirit Star Realm cultivator and a 10th stage Spirit Soul Realm cultivator was too huge. Just for this, Hu Qianmei's eyes widened. She felt that her breathing had tightened, and her heart was extremely uncomfortable. Protector Hu, maybe you are not willing, but please think of the big picture. My Ming-Ying sect is strong. Why should we fear the Immortal Sword sect? Immortal Sword sect? What Immortal Sword sect? Hu Qianmei was extremely anxious. She shouted out in anger. Her bright eyes were filled with pain and grievance, and was filled with unwillingness. Zhang Wuming, you are simply using me. You think I have not sensed it? Audacious, you actually dare to call the sect leader by his name. The Ming-Ying sect people behind scolded Hu Qianmei. But Hu Qianmei was not afraid, and said, Initially when I betrayed the Immortal Sword sect, I did not think much, and directly joined the Ming-Ying sect, precisely because of the enmity between the Ming-Ying sect and the Immortal Sword sect. I want to help the Ming-Ying sect destroy our common enemy, the Immortal Sword sect. But Zhang Wuming, ever since you became the sect leader of the Ming-Ying sect, have you done anything to the Immortal Sword sect? No. From start to finish, you have never truly faced the Immortal Sword sect. You are escaping. You do not even dare to fight with them. You are afraid, because, the Ming-Ying sect is not the opponent of the Immortal Sword sect. And for so many years, you order me around, making me do this and that. But you have never done anything to the Immortal Sword sect. I have had enough. And now you're forcing me to marry this trash? Don't even think about it. Zhang Wuming, I will make my words clear here. I, Hu Qianmei, am officially leaving the Ming-Ying sect. I am no longer a servant of the Ming-Ying sect. Goodbye. With that, the furious Hu Qianmei took off the order badge on her waist, fiercely threw it on the ground, and was about to leave. Wait. Zhang Wuming's voice was cold, and he bellowed. What? Not willing? When I first joined the Ming-Ying sect, you told me, if I want to leave, I can leave any time. Have you forgotten? Hu Qianmei said coldly, but she knew better than anyone that it was just an excuse. She could go back on her words. But she had already shed all pretenses, and the sect leader was completely on Lu Xiandong's side. If she did not leave, there was no way out, so no matter what, she had to leave. She wanted to see if the sect leader still had any feelings for her. But Hu Qianmei had obviously underestimated Zhang Wuming's determination. Zhang Wuming's expression did not change. He was silent for a moment. Then he opened his mouth. Regarding the Immortal Sword sect, I have no plans for now. But Protector Hu, this marriage I have already agreed. How can I break my promise to Protector Lu? Furthermore, you colluded with the spirit demon Dao to harm Protector Lu. Do you think I do not know? Now, the sect leader officially announces, stripping you of your position as a protector, temporarily imprisoning you in your courtyard. 10 days later, you will officially marry Protector Lu Xiandong. Hearing that, Hu Qianmei's face changed. Just as she was about to move, she saw Zhang Wuming suddenly making a move. A blue light struck her body, causing her to retreat a few steps. All the energy in her body dissipated. Her cultivation was actually suppressed from the 10th stage of the Spirit Soul Realm to the 1st stage, although it was only temporary. But this method had already exceeded the knowledge of spirit cultivators. Facing so many experts, a 1st stage Spirit Soul Realm cultivator definitely could not escape. Hu Qianmei was shocked. He had suffered a crushing defeat today. She never thought that the sect leader, who was always fair and just, would actually lean towards Liu Xiandong. Sect leader, you. Qinmei, just stay in your room obediently. Don't give us any trouble. 10 days later, my Ming-Ying sect will hold an unprecedentedly grand wedding for you. Zhang Wuming waved his hand, and two Ming-Ying sect disciples walked over, wanting to detain her. Get lost, Hu Qianmei scolded. The disciple immediately stopped. Her face was extremely ugly. She wanted to run, but there was nowhere to run. She could only clench her teeth and angrily said, I'll go myself. That's for the best. Zhang Wuming nodded. But you won't succeed. Hu Qianmei whispered to Zhang Wuming and Liu Xiandong, then walked away. Zhang Wuming's expression did not change, but Liu Xiandong's eyes were glistening as he looked at Hu Qianmei. No one knew what he was thinking. After a while, sect leader, he bit his lower lip and called out to Zhang Wuming. If you have anything to say, say it. Zhang Wuming said indifferently. Why we have to wait until 10 days later? We can do it tonight. Anyway, it's just Hu Qianmei's body, isn't it? You're too impatient. Zhang Wuming shook his head and said, her physique is special. If you were to dual cultivate with her, although you will gain huge benefits, but the benefits are not perfect. With these 10 days, I can help you cleanse your meridians, reconstruct your qi channels and spirit essences, stabilize the heavenly platform, and help you. That way, dual cultivate with Hu Qianmei. The benefits you will gain will be unprecedented, perfect, and flawless. At that time, you can easily enter the spirit star realm and even go further, close to the second stage of the spirit star realm. Isn't that better? Although I will lose an expert like Hu Qianmei, but to be able to exchange for a spirit star realm expert, it is worth it. Move, bear with it for now. Hu Qianmei will be yours. So that's how it is. Liu Xiandong cupped his fists anxiously and laughed. Thank you, sect leader, for nurturing me. Xiandong understands. Don't disappoint me. Do not disturb Hu Qianmei for the next 10 days. Just get people to watch over her strictly. The wedding must be beautiful. After all, it must be legitimate. After the wedding night is over, where Hu Qianmei wants to go, that is her business. Oh, sect leader, if she and I dual cultivate, we will share the same innate talent. If she's in trouble, my innate talent will also be damaged. You don't have to worry about this. I have already made sufficient preparations. When the dual cultivation is over, I will immediately arrange for the two of you to go through the ceremony and remove the contract for the two of you to share the innate talent. At that time, when she dies of illness, you will not be affected at all. Sect leader actually has such a method. There are records of it in the Ming-Ying sect's ancient records. But this ceremony comes from the demonic continent, and after it is performed, one of the parties will lose all their cultivation. So serious? This is extremely good. Zhang Wuming's eyes flickered with a light aura and said, with this side effect, it can restrict Hu Qianmei. If she is willing to stay and can preserve her cultivation, I will give her wealth, but if she insists on leaving, then don't blame me. Voila! The light aura rose up, penetrating through the roof of the mansion and into the clouds. Slowly, the light aura weakened and gradually disappeared, and all the evil people around the mansion all looked up. This light aura was obviously the light aura produced when a cultivator broke through. From the color and qi, it seemed to be the 5th stage. 5th stage? This light aura was shot out from the Sovereign King's mansion. Could the Sovereign King have risen to the 5th stage of the Spirit Soul Realm? How is that possible? To be able to kill a 10th stage Spirit Soul Realm cultivator, how could he only be a 5th stage cultivator? Countless evil people secretly shook their heads, thinking that the light aura was definitely not released by the Sovereign King. In truth, the light aura was indeed released by Su Yun. Inside the house, Su Yun sat cross-legged in the middle of a huge and luxurious array. The array was formed by 9 by 981 precious gems. The gems released a myriad of colors of energy, lighting up the entire house. Around the array, there were 7 soul stone statues. They were constantly injecting energy into the array, raising the power of the array. Such an extremely luxurious array could only be used by cultivators with high status and power. Su Yun opened his eyes and heaved a sigh of relief, feeling refreshed all over. The battle at that time allowed him to gain enlightenment. His profound spirit chi had also risen, and he had a breakthrough, adding the series of treasures in the Sovereign King's mansion. His cultivation rose like a rocket in such a short period of time. He had jumped to the 5th stage. Among the cultivators, this was considered godly speed. The spirit essence in his body was huge, with a monarch occult force sustaining it. Adding the limitless sword arts and the great evil sword technique, he could easily kill a 6th-stage spirit soul realm cultivator. Even if he met a 7th-stage cultivator, he would not be afraid. Report! Just then, a loud voice came out from outside the house. Su Yun stood up and asked, "What's wrong?" Reporting to Master Sovereign King, the required materials violet 7 leaves and roasted red blood have been found by someone. What? Hearing that, Su Yun was elated. Chapter 247. In the main hall of the Sovereign King Palace, 2 evil realm people were seated and waiting anxiously. One of them was wearing a fiery red armor, carrying a broadsword on his back. The other was holding onto a staff, motionless like a rock. The 2 of them were 9th-stage spirit soul realm cultivators. In the evil king city, they were already famous experts. Master Sovereign King has arrived. A loud voice came out. Then, Su Yun, accompanied by a few evil realm people, walked towards the main hall. These few days, Su Yun was busy reorganizing the Sovereign King Palace and cleaning up the Sovereign King's wealth. The previous Sovereign King had collected many treasures and materials. Su Yun had earned a lot. The storage rings on his fingers were almost full. There were 6 of them, and every one of them was filled with all sorts of materials. There were also many practical small treasures. As for the stronger treasures, it made Su Yun's heart ache. The previous Sovereign King had imprinted most of the strong treasures. Once he died, many of the treasures would self-destruct. There were still some treasures that were useless to Su Yun. It had to be said that there were gains and losses. After that, he released the female evil realm people who were forcefully captured by the previous Sovereign King. Su Yun was not interested in these dark and swarthy female evil realm people. Even if he wanted to find one, it should be someone like Chani Yun. At least they would fit the aesthetic of the people of Sky Martial Continent. But what surprised Su Yun was that many of the female evil realm people wanted to continue following Su Yun. Not to mention that Su Yun was not interested in them. Even if he was, Su Yun would not dare to act recklessly. After all, he was a human and not an evil realm person. If his identity was exposed, it would be troublesome. After dispersing a portion of the people in the Sovereign King Palace, Su Yun left the elites behind. Naturally, he recruited many evil realm people who came to seek refuge with him. They helped him search for the things he needed to train. Greetings, Master Sovereign King. The 2 experts immediately stood up and bowed to Su Yun, who was walking in. 9th stage spirit soul realm. Su Yun closed his heavenly scale divine eye and was stunned. He did not expect that there would be 2 powerful people who would help him search for violet 7 leaves and roasted red blood. Could it be that they wanted to become his right-hand man? But it did not matter. Since he had obtained the things, he could just leave the evil realm. Su Yun heaved a sigh of relief. He smiled and asked, "You 2 are the people who obtained violet 7 leaves and roasted red blood. I am Kuang Yu Xie. I obtained the violet 7 leaves." The man with the blade said, "I'm Huang Dongzhang, and I obtained roasted red blood," the man with the cane said. "You 2 seem to know each other." Seeing that the 2 of them were not strangers, Su Yun asked, "We are fellow disciples of the same sect. After we finish our apprenticeship, we hope to find a mighty being and receive his protection so that we can cultivate wholeheartedly. At the same time, we can also help the mighty being to conquer the lands and plunder more cultivation resources. I want to stand out." Kuang Yu Xie shouted. "The news of Lord Sovereign King killing the previous Sovereign King has already spread far and wide. His name has spread far and wide, and we admire him greatly. This time, we are offering our treasures just to follow Lord Sovereign King." Huang Dongzhang said. Su Yun listened and nodded his head. "Good. Very good. Since the 2 of you have obtained these 2 treasures, then I will officially announce Kuang Yuxia. You will be the left protector of evil King City, Huang Dongzhong. You will be the right protector. The two of you will assist me and guard evil King City together, understand? Hearing that, the two of them hurriedly knelt down and sincerely shouted, "Thank you, Lord Sovereign King. In a while, I will arrange a residence for the two of you to cultivate in. The evil realm people who will serve you will also bestow you with some treasures. Go and rest for the time being. If there is anything, I will send someone to inform you." "Thank you, Master. Your subordinate will take his leave." The two of them shouted and were led away. After a while, the servant brought the violet 7 leaves and roasted red blood that the two of them had obtained. Su Yun kept the 2 items and anxiously left the main hall, returning to the cultivation grounds. Entering the cultivation grounds, he instructed not to disturb them and to close the door. Then he took out all the materials from his storage ring. Mystical void iron, violet 7 leaves, glazed heart, roasted red blood, bitter stone. I've gathered everything. I believe that I should be able to return to Sky Martial Continent smoothly. Su Yun heaved a sigh of relief. This moment was finally here. I wonder how Qing Er is doing now. I wonder if she's doing well. Su Yun's heart was pounding. Thinking about the girl who treated him as her own life, he felt his heart ache. He took out the sword sheath and opened it. Then he shouted Ling Qing Yu's name. After a while, there was a response from the sword sheath. "What's with all the noise? I'm recuperating. Can't you just let me know my place?" Ling Qing Yu's unhappy voice came out from the sword sheath. "I've already gathered all the materials." "What?" Ling Qing Yu's surprised voice came out. The sword sheath flashed with a white light. Ling Qing Yu's body immediately appeared beside the sword sheath. She was dressed in white. She carefully looked at the materials on the ground that were sparkling with light. Her mouth immediately opened wide. "How did you manage to gather all the materials so quickly? That's impossible. How did you manage to do it so quickly?" Ling Qing Yu did not expect that all the materials were extremely difficult to obtain. However, Su Yun had already obtained all of them. Seeing that Ling Qing Yu was so shocked, Su Yun laughed, and then explained the reason behind it. After listening to the entire story, Ling Qing Yu sighed. "I never thought that you're already the sovereign king of evil King City. Speaking of which, you're quite a powerful force in the entire evil realm. The evil realm is so big. There are many existences that are stronger than the sovereign king. Just look at the evil sword sect. When a sect leader came, he easily killed all the experts in evil King City. There might even be a sect stronger than the evil sword sect. So the sovereign king is just a title. It doesn't mean anything. Furthermore, I'm going back to Sky Martial Continent. This sovereign king's authority doesn't matter. You can't think that way." Ling Qing Yu immediately said, "You idiot. It wasn't easy for you to obtain this authority. How can you just give it up like that? It's so difficult to travel between Sky Martial Continent and the evil realm. Can 2 different things interweave together? Why not?" Ling Qing Yu shook her head. "If you have sufficient manpower and wealth, it's not impossible to create a small-scale void leap door." "Void leap door? What's that?" Su Yun was startled. It's a small-scale bridge array formation similar to the void exit. It can be used to link to a specific realm. It allows people to cross from one realm to another. But there's a limit to the number of people that can pass through. It requires a large amount of top-quality materials to construct. Constructing the void leap door requires at least 2 years of work. If it's done by one person, it's impossible. But now that you have the resources of the entire evil King City, maybe you can construct the void leap door. Hearing that, Su Yun was elated. If that's the case, then it'll be a great help. Su Yun did not know if the Profound Sky Sect was still chasing after Qing Er. But if he had the support of the evil King City, although he could not completely fight against the Profound Sky Sect, at least he would have the means to fight against them. It would be much more convenient for him in the future. Don't be too happy. The void leap door can only be used by 2 people a day, and it requires 2 years of work to construct. Don't place too much hope on it. Ignoring the time required to construct it, just the gathering of the materials is a headache. It's actually of little value. Otherwise, the almighty beings would use it as an entrance to other realms, causing chaos in all the realms. At least it's better than nothing. Su Yun laughed. Qingyu, tell me the method to construct the void leap door. I'll get people to arrange it immediately. Find a trustworthy person to take charge. The batch of evil realm people that I released are loyal to me. They should be trustworthy. That's good. But Su Yun, if you go to Sky Marshall Continent, who will take care of Evil King City? Didn't I recruit 2 new protectors? Can they be trusted? It doesn't matter if they can't be trusted. Su Yun shook his head and laughed. They won't dare to be impudent. Why? Because half of the evil realm know that the evil sword sect is behind the Evil King City sovereign king. Ling Qingyu was startled, then laughed helplessly. I forgot. You're a person with a backing now. Ling Qingyu did not speak anymore. After reporting the method, Su Yun immediately went to make the arrangements. The batch of evil realm people that were supposed to be refined as spirit weapons were all left in the Sovereign King Palace. One of them was called Ming Nan, a second-stage spirit soul realm cultivator. After Su Yun released him, he was extremely grateful to Su Yun. He was honest and loyal, and did not have many tricks up his sleeves. Su Yun handed the task of constructing the void leap door to him. The Sovereign King Palace was rich in resources, enough to construct such a large array. After the void leap door was completed, Su Yun and Ling Qingyu immediately started to split open the void and set up the imprints. Inside the training room, with the materials, it'll be much easier to set up the imprints. Ling Qingyu took the treasures that Su Yun used and started to create an array in the training room. The roasting red snow was smeared on the imprints. The violet 7 leaves were crushed and sprinkled on the surface to strengthen the imprint. The bitter stone was used as the imprint source. After that, he had to fuse the glazed heart with the mystical void iron and use it as a weapon to split open the void. Ling Qingyu busied herself for an entire day. She was perspiring profusely before finally completing the imprint. It's almost done. Ling Qingyu heaved a sigh of relief and smiled at Su Yun. You've worked hard. Su Yun nodded and took a deep breath. He said, you should rest for today. We'll start tomorrow. Next, I'll have to make arrangements for my funeral and prepare to leave. Ling Qingyu nodded. She turned into a ray of white light and entered the sword sheath. Su Yun picked up a sword sheath and calmed himself down. Then, he walked out of the training room. Very quickly, the Sovereign King Palace issued an edict. All the higher-ups and powerful cultivators of the Sovereign King Palace gathered in the main hall of the palace, waiting for the Sovereign King's orders. Su Yun understood that if he wanted to use the power of the Evil King City in the future, he had to make sure that his words were perfect. He had to leave, but he had to be intimidating. If not, he would not be able to suppress the group of evil realm people. Very quickly, he entered the main hall. There were close to 100 higher-ups of Evil King City. They had been waiting for a long time. Chapter 248. Returning to his training grounds, Su Yun wiped the perspiration off his forehead, took down the sword sheath, and placed it on the ground. Ling Qingyu immediately flew out from inside. Are you done? Yes. What did you say? I said that I will go to the evil sword sect for closed-door training. The matters of the Evil King City will be handled by different people. Everything has been explained clearly. With the evil sword sect as a deterrent, I believe they will not dare to act rashly. That's true. One evil sword sect is enough to eradicate the Evil King City. Let's go. Yes. Ling Qingyu took the long rod-shaped object from Su Yun and placed it in front of the imprint. This was the fusion of the mystical void iron and the glazed heart. It contained a strong void god force and was connected to the imprint. It was a necessary item to respond to Ling Qingyu. Are you ready? Ling Qingyu turned and asked Su Yun. Su Yun nodded. Ling Qingyu started to open her cherry lips and chanted softly. She closed her eyes and held onto the fused rod object with one hand. Her other hand moved quickly as though she was drawing some kind of picture in the air. Slowly, her delicate body began to emit halos of light, and a mysterious force of the void gradually rose. The entire room was dyed with a mysterious and profound light. Suyin looked at Ling Qingyu, his heart extremely calm. I never thought that after a trip to the evil realm, not only did I not die, I even had so many fortuitous encounters. Not bad at all. Suyin took a deep breath and calmed himself down. Just then, Ling Qingyu suddenly opened her eyes and bellowed, "Break!" The moment she said that, the long rod in her hand transformed into a ray of light and shot towards the void above the imprint. Buzz, buzz, buzzwalla. The void shook like a sieve, and in the end, like a piece of paper being torn apart, a large amount of pitch black and dense qi spread out. "Su-yun, go!" Ling Qingyu shouted anxiously as she extended her hand towards Su-yun. Su-yun did not dare to be careless as he extended his hand and grabbed onto the delicate and soft hand. Then, Ling Qingyu immediately leaped into the void and pulled him in. The two of them entered the void. Hua! Su-yun did not have time to react. His eyes darkened, and his entire body sank into endless darkness. This time, it was not as painful as the previous time. Ling Qingyu held onto his hand tightly, her face solemn as she stared ahead. Soon, a speck of light burst out from the endless darkness. The light grew brighter and brighter, right in front of the two of them. "We're almost there," Ling Qingyu's voice sounded out. So fast, Su-yun was startled. Ling Qingyu suddenly transformed into a white light and flew back into the sword sheath. "Qingyu, why did you go in? Have we arrived?" "We're here," Ling Qingyu said. In that moment, Su-yun heard the whistling sound of the wind, and when he looked again, a dazzling light aura entered his eyes, and the unique clarity of the sky martial continent surrounded him. They had indeed arrived. Su-yun was excited. He felt that all the pores on his body had opened up. It was extremely comfortable. He was finally back. Sky martial continent. However, before he could take a few more breaths, he suddenly felt that something was wrong. He saw that his body was rapidly descending, and when he looked down, he was surprised to find that he was thousands of meters in the air. Fuck, not good. Su-yun's heart jumped. He anxiously took out the death sword. Stepping on it, he soared into the sky and landed safely. After keeping the death sword, he did not do anything else. The first thing he did was to lie down on the ground and take deep breaths. How could the stinky, evil realm compare to the sky martial continent? No matter how unfair the continent was to him, at least he grew up here. After a while, he finally recovered. Looking at Ling Qingyu, she had already entered the sword sheath to recover her energy. Su-yun immediately stood up and looked around. This seems to be Dong Xian Mountain in Long Ao Nation. It's close to the western continent, but if I were to ride my sword through the Purple River in Nine Branches Mountain, I would be able to quickly return to Blossom Heart Valley. Su-yun did not know where Qing Air was, and could only go to Blossom Heart Valley to ask about the situation. Maybe after Qing Air was sent to the northern region by the exquisite Heart Stone, she would return to the southern continent. Su-yun was well aware of Qing Er's personality. She would definitely not give up and would definitely look for him. Thinking about that, Su-yun immediately rode his flying sword towards Blossom Heart Valley. A few years had passed, and the Sky Martial Continent had some changes, but he did not know if the profound Sky Sect and the Su family were still chasing after him in Qing Air. Su-yun draped his cloak over his body, pulled down his hat, and the death sword rushed forward, like a black shooting star cutting through the blue sky. In the secluded embroidery pavilion, a petite figure stood in front of the window, her eyes lifelessly looking out. Thump! The servant gently placed the spirit tea on the table. Her hands and feet were light, as she was afraid to disturb the young man. Then, the man turned his head. "How many days has it been?" Hu Qianmei asked weakly. "Reporting to Miss, it has already been 4 days." 4 days? Hu Qianmei's face was bitter. The soft tail behind her perky buttocks was also limp on the ground. She walked to the front of the bed, tiptoed, and climbed up, sitting on the side of the bed, her 2 slender legs swaying gently. "In another 6 days, it will be the wedding day, right?" "Yes." The servant hesitated for a while, then said, "The sect leader has already sent out the wedding invitations, inviting all the powerful elders of the various sects to attend the wedding banquet, and the entire sect is also decorated, busy decorating the scene. Huh! Hu Qianmei's mouth revealed a trace of ridicule and disdain. This group of people are so shameless. But this time, they're going to be disappointed. I don't have what they want anymore. The servant looked at Hu Qianmei in confusion, completely not understanding what she was talking about. Miss, why don't we escape? The servant hesitated for a long time, then carefully said, Escape? Hu Qianmei shook her head. When you came in, you should have seen how many experts of the Ming school were guarding. Even one of the 4 great heavenly kings, Bird King, is here. How can I escape? Can I outrun him? Then what should we do, miss? Are you really going to marry Protector Lu Xiandong? Of course not. Hu Qianmei's heart was in a mess. Although she said that she did not have any ideas in her heart. At this time, who could she rely on? She had been abandoned by her parents since she was a child, and had become a half-human, half-demon. If it wasn't for her master saving her, she would have died in the desolate mountains a long time ago. However, even though she had been saved, learned a top-notch cultivation technique, and possessed a powerful cultivation, she still didn't receive the slightest bit of respect that she deserved. Just because she was a half-human, half-demon, everyone was deceiving her and using her. Could it be that she owed this world something? Hu Qianmei's small pink fists were clenched tightly. Her eyes were filled with pain and unwillingness. But after a long time, her small hands relaxed. Ying, your servant is here. In this life of mine, I have lived a very tiring life. Hu Qianmei smiled bitterly at her and said lightly, At the last moment, maybe only you still care about me. Care about me. Mississippi, say, on the day of the wedding, if the bride breaks the promise and kills the groom in front of everyone, will Minging School lose face? Ha! Miss, your cultivation is sealed. You can't possibly win against Protector Lu Xiandong, and in front of so many tyrants, you're committing suicide. Suicide? Ha! It doesn't matter. I don't care about life and death. Hu Qianmei leaned on the side of the bed and muttered, It's a pity I can't take revenge from Master. Outside Blossom Heart Valley, it was still birdsong and fragrant flowers, a place of glory. At the entrance of the valley, a large number of people who were suffering from illnesses were still queuing up, waiting for the experts of Blossom Heart Valley to treat them. 7 to 8 disciples were maintaining the scene in an orderly manner. A lecturer was supervising from the side. If any disciple made a mistake in the process of treatment, he would correct them immediately. So, just then, a black light descended from the sky and hit the entrance of the valley. Hearing a dong sound, the ground trembled and dust flew up. The people at the entrance were startled and looked towards the place where the black light hit. The dense dust gradually dispersed, revealing a man in a black cloak. His face could not be seen clearly. He was holding onto a black sword with a sheath on one hand, and on his back was a sword sheath and a blood-red sword. He was looking around, and when he saw the disciples of Blossom Heart Valley, he immediately walked over. Stop! Who are you? The lecturer of Blossom Heart Valley regained his senses and shouted anxiously. A group of disciples stopped what they were doing, and 2 of them ran into the valley, while the rest gathered around. I want to see Master Guamo Ju, Suyin said softly. He thought about it again and again. It was better not to reveal his name. Before solving the problem, Su Yun's name was troublesome. See Master Guamo Ju? Who exactly are you? What sect are you from? Please show me your identity plate. The lecturer could not see the depth of this person, and his heart was a little guilty, but as a disciple of Blossom Heart Valley, he still endured the fear in his heart and shouted, My identity is inconvenient to reveal, but I ask you to inform Master Guamo Ju and ask him to come out. I will explain the situation to him. Suyin said calmly. Seeing that this person was not angry, his attitude was kind, and his words were polite, the lecturer's vigilance was lowered. He hesitantly looked at Su Yun, and then gave a look to the disciple beside him. The disciple understood and immediately ran away. After a while, Guamo Ju led a few disciples and ran towards the entrance of the valley. When he saw the cloaked man standing at the entrance of the valley, Guamo Ju was stunned for a moment. His thoughts were more meticulous than the others. Although this person's face was covered, the weapon on his back was exposed. That sword sheath, could it be? Ju's heart suddenly jumped, as if he thought of something, and anxiously ran over. Master Ge, long time no see. Su Yun raised his head, and an extremely pale face entered Ju's eyes. Su Yun, it's you? Ju was stunned for a long time, and then regained his senses. He was extremely happy as he pressed on Su Yun's shoulder and said, "You're back? That's great. That's great. Ha ha ha. I said that you're a lucky brat. You'll be fine. Ha ha." Ju's excitement and joy exceeded Su Yun's expectations. Seeing the old man's happy expression, Su Yun's heart was slightly moved. How is Senior Pill King now? He's fine, although he was injured, but don't forget, what is our Blossom Heart Valley doing? Injuries and whatnot. To us, it's simply a piece of cake. That's good. Su Yun heaved a sigh of relief and said, "There are many people here. Let's go in and talk." "Good. I'll bring you to see the senior brothers and the clan elders," Ju said, and anxiously invited Su Yun into Blossom Heart Valley. "Who exactly is that person?" "I don't know," a few disciples outside said with their heads full of fog. Chapter 249. What? Brat Su Yun? You're that Brat Su Yun? Inside the Pill King Pavilion, the Pill King, who was still researching pills, stared blankly at the cloaked man in front of him. He shouted out, the ingredients in his hands falling to the floor. "Senior, it's me." Su Yun took off his hat, revealing his pale white face. "It's really you. I never thought that you'd still be alive. Brat, you're fine. It's good that you're fine. My medicine world's genius is still here. That's great." Su Yun. Pill King laughed out loud and anxiously pulled Su Yun to the table to sit down and asked, "Brat, where have you been these few years? I heard that you were persecuted by the experts of the spirit demon realm and died. What's going on? Quickly tell me what's going on. Did you have some fortuitous encounter?" "Me?" Su Yun shook his head and laughed bitterly. "I went to the evil realm." "Evil realm?" Pill King and Ju jumped in fright. Su Yun nodded his head and told them about his experiences in the evil realm. Of course, he hid the important points, as there were some things that they did not know. "No wonder you look so cold right now. Your face is pale white and your eyes are evil. Although you look like someone who is about to die, your life chi is very strong." "Weird," Pill King said. "I'm afraid this is the effect of staying in the evil realm for too long." "You can say so." Su Yun did not explain, and was about to ask about Qing when suddenly 2 familiar voices came out from outside. Disciple Su Xinu, Su Xingyang, greets Elder Pill King. Xinu Xingyang. Su Yun was startled and anxiously ran over to open the door. Clang dang. The door opened. The 2 people standing outside looked up and were immediately petrified. After a moment, Xinu was the first to react, but seeing her eyes turning red, she moaned and pounced into Su Yun's embrace, hugging him tightly. "Big brother Su Yun, you're alive. You're still alive. That's great. That's really great, woo." Su Xinu was already sobbing, drenching Su Yun's chest, her shoulders trembling. She was extremely sad. "Big brother, is it you? It's really you? You're back? That was great. I told you that Big brother would be fine, but that girl Xinu didn't believe me. She kept talking about you every day. She's almost going crazy." Xingyang scratched his head and said in a rough voice, "You are the crazy one." Xinu wiped the tears from her eyes and said to Xingyang with dissatisfaction, "I'm just saying." Xingyang giggled. Okay, it's okay. Don't worry." Su Yun patted Xinu's head and laughed. "Yes. All of you come in and talk. It's not convenient for Su Yun to stand outside." Ju laughed and said, "All right." A group of people entered the house. Su Yun then repeated what he had said to Pill King and Ju to the 2 siblings. Knowing that Su Yun had gone to the evil realm, Xinu and Xingyang were truly shocked, but seeing that Su Yun was standing in front of them safe and sound, the 2 of them relaxed. This experience was truly a sigh. After chatting with Su Yun for a while, Su Yin went straight to the point. Speaking of which, Senior Pill King, Xianyu and Xingyang. Do you have any news of Qing'er? Sister Qing'er. Xianyu lowered her head and became silent. Su Yin glanced at everyone, and then everyone sighed again and again. What? Su Yin frowned. Rascal, I'll tell you the truth. After the riot, our Blossom Heart Valley has already sent people to look for you and Qing'er. Just that, we have sent 12 batches of people a year, almost once a month, but we could not find any trace of Miss Qing'er and you. Xianyu and Xingyang had just returned from outside, but they did not find anything. The continent is so big, we do not even know where Miss Qing'er is. Her cultivation is not low either. If she was safe and sound, she would definitely return to Blossom Heart Valley, but she did not. Sigh. Emoju, you're wrong. Rascal Su Yun, you might not like to hear this, but I still have to say it. I feel that Qing'er Bang! Pill King's metal table immediately shattered. Su Yun clenched his fists tightly, his expression sinister and determined. Qing'er will be fine. Senior Pill King, you don't have to say any more. Pill King was startled, then said, Rascal, who told you something happened to Qing'er? I only said, she might be temporarily hiding, and might still be looking for you. Hearing that, Su Yun's cold heart calmed down and asked, Senior, why do you say that? Because the Profound Sky sect and the Su family are still watching Blossom Heart Valley. Pill King shook his head. I think they most likely have not found Qing'er, if not they would not be watching our Blossom Heart Valley. Although Qing'er did not stay in my Blossom Heart Valley for long, but I have some understanding of her. That girl, she is intelligent and has a nimble heart. She definitely has her reasons for not coming to Blossom Heart Valley. Now that the Profound Sky sect and the Su family are looking for her, isn't she walking right into their trap? So I think she might be hiding somewhere, waiting for you. Hearing that, Su Yun's eyes lit up and said, That's right. If the Profound Sky sect and the Su family are still looking for her, that means she is still safe. But if that's the case, how do I find her? I don't know about that. Pill King shook his head. Su Yun became quiet. Old man, I will help you. Thank you, Senior. Su Yun took a deep breath and said, I think I should go to the northern continent and ask around. Maybe I can find Qing'er's whereabouts. You decide. Pill King nodded and wanted to say something, but just then, hurried footsteps came out from outside. Following that, a disciple of Blossom Heart Valley ran to the door and shouted, Disciple Zhang Song seeks an audience. Pill King gave Su Yun a look, and Su Yun immediately pulled up his hood and covered his face. Come in, Guamo, Zhu shouted. Immediately, the door opened, and Blossom Heart Valley disciple Zhang Song walked in, his hands holding onto a bright red invitation, and bowed towards Pill King. What's this? Pill King did not understand, and took the invitation. Reporting to Clan Elder, just now, Mingying School sent someone to send an invitation, sincerely inviting the elders of my valley to Mingying School to participate in the wedding banquet. Oh, Pill King was startled. Which almighty being from Mingying School wants to marry? Normally, spirit cultivators' partners would not be so grand, unless the two spirit cultivators were powerful or had extremely high status. Only then would they hold a wedding banquet and give their blessings. Of course, blessings were not as simple as verbal blessings, but real blessings with profound skills. This profound skill could benefit both men and women, but they had to find someone stronger to give their blessings. Disciple does not know who is the dual cultivation companion. That person came quickly and left quickly. He did not even have tea. Oh, so it's like that. Pill King opened the invitation and looked at it and was immediately startled. After a while, he said, I never thought that it would be Ming School's left protector Lu Xandong and right protector Hu Qianmei, TSK. So that's how it is. If it's the two of them, then it's worth a good show. Senior Pill King, who did you say is the dual cultivation companion? Su Yin felt that he did not hear clearly and asked anxiously, Lu Xandong and Hu Qianmei. Pill King looked at him in confusion. What? Su Yin almost jumped up. Rascal, why are you so agitated? It's not like you're the one. Pill King did not understand. But in the next second, the invitation in his hands was snatched away by Su Yun. Su Yun anxiously looked at the invitation and glanced at it. It really was Lu Xiandong and Hu Qianmei. He looked at the time. 19th of the month. That meant there were less than 6 days left. Why was it so rushed? Why would Hu Qianmei suddenly marry Lu Xiandong? There must be some hidden story behind this, since Hu Qianmei's special physique was already taken by him. Why would she go and form a dual cultivation companion with someone else? Su Yun's eyes flickered. He stuffed the invitation into Pill King's hands, turned and walked out. "Rascal, where are you going?" Pill King shouted. But Su Yun was not anxious. He took out the death sword, stepped on the sword body, and soared into the sky. "Senior, I have some personal matters to settle, so I will leave for now. Xi and you, Xingyang, you two stay in Blossom Heart Valley. Don't worry about me." With that said, he transformed into a ray of black light, disappearing into the horizon. Everyone looked at each other in bewilderment. What was going on? So, the death sword beneath his feet sped forward. The wind whistled past his ears. Su Yun used his profound spirit chi to wrap around the death sword and rushed forward, flying towards the direction of Mingying School. Now that his cultivation had increased, the speed of the flying sword had increased. Just that the distance between Blossom Heart Valley and Mingying School was not a small distance. With the speed of the flying sword, it would take a few days. Su Yun did not understand why Hu Qianmei would form a dual cultivation companion with Lu Xiandong, but he understood one thing. Hu Qianmei was not willing to marry Lu Xiandong, or rather, she could not possibly like any man. He was afraid that Hu Qianmei was being forced. Su Yun thought, now that Hu Qianmei had a connection with him, if she met with any mishaps, he would not be any better off. Furthermore, Hu Qianmei had once saved him. How could he not care about it? Thinking about the time when he was hiding in Hu Qianmei's room, listening to her conversation with Lu Xiandong, Su Yun became more anxious, and his speed became faster, almost to the limit. A few days later, clang! The death sword fiercely crashed into the Mingying School's mountain range. Evil chi rippled. The baleful chi pervaded. The entire ground was smashed into smithereens. A huge pit appeared on the mountain peak. Su Yun swept away the thick dust around him and walked out of the pit with the death sword. In the distance, the mountain range was undulating with strange rocks and rugged rocks. Occasionally, there would be vegetation and a few low cultivation spirit beasts running in the mountains. He glanced at the sect in the mountain range in the distance, pulled up his hood, and walked towards it. Chapter 250. Waves of festive sounds came from afar. In the center of the Mingying sect, a gigantic red pillar soared into the sky. The scene was magnificent. They were carving a dragon and phoenix. The servant walked in and looked at the lonely figure in front of the window and said softly, "Dragon and phoenix? I heard that the sect leader has been preparing for this for a long time and hired many experts. He even personally set up the blessing array. Miss, there are only 2 days left. It's urgent. It's not too late to leave now. How many times have you said it?" Hu Qianmei was unmoved. She did not even turn her head. "Although I've said it many times, but miss, this time is different. I heard that this time the sect leader has invited many higher-ups of the sect to attend the banquet. The scene is very grand. Many people in the sect have gone to help. At this time, the sect is the most empty. If we leave now, we might really be able to escape," the servant said. With that said, Hu Qianmei was stunned. Her dim eyes flashed with a bit of light, and she hurriedly looked outside, only to see that the guards outside were indeed a lot fewer than a few days ago. "Miss, you're not even afraid of death. Are you afraid of this? If we succeed, we will be free." The servant tried to persuade her again. Hu Qianmei hesitated for a moment. She was moved. The soft white foxtail trembled. She hesitated for a moment. Then she nodded and said, "Okay, Ying, I will listen to you. Let's go." "Good, miss. Although the sect leader has sealed my cultivation, he has forgotten that my strongest technique is illusion techniques. As long as it is not in existence like Lu Xiandong, no one can escape from my illusion techniques." Hu Qianmei made her decision. Without hesitation, she ran to the bed and took down her blood-red sword. Then, she brought the servant called Ying Ying down to the embroidery pavilion. When they reached the first floor, Hu Qianmei immediately held her breath and activated her illusion technique. When a mystical technique was activated, she nodded to Ying Ying. Ying Ying understood. She took a deep breath and immediately pretended to be frightened. She opened the door and ran out. Not good, not good. Mrs. fainted. Not good. The screams were sharp and fearful, resonating throughout the entire embroidered pavilion. The Ming Ying sect disciples who were guarding outside the embroidered pavilion heard the screams and immediately tensed up. What? Who fainted? Who did you say fainted? A few followers ran over. One of the 4 heavenly kings, Bird King, who was standing at the door, immediately pushed aside the people in front of him and shouted at Ying Ying. What did you say? Hu Qianmei fainted? Yes. Ying Ying squeezed out a few drops of tears and said with fear and sadness. Miss wanted to circulate her power to dispel the confinement that cult master had placed on her. She was careless and caused her breath to become chaotic, and she fainted. TSK. How troublesome. Bird King secretly cursed his bad luck and immediately led his men into the embroidery pavilion. However, once everyone entered the embroidery pavilion, ripples spread out as though they had stepped into another world. Inside the embroidered pavilion, it was like a paradise on earth. In front of them, there were all sorts of beauties. All of them were beautiful. All of them were beautiful. They were standing at the side of a gigantic wine pond, drinking wine in the pond, holding up the fragrant wine, smiling at the Ming Ying sect people. Many of the beauties were even more daring and walked over, pulling them to sit at the side of the wine pond, flirting with each other, their ears rubbing against each other. It was a joyous occasion. The Ming Ying sect disciples were unable to control themselves. One by one, they lost their focus and were completely immersed in the beauties and delicacies, unable to extricate themselves. On the other hand, Bird King was stunned. His cultivation was not something the lackeys beside him could compare to. When the strange scene appeared, he immediately sensed that something was wrong. Bird King anxiously guarded his mind and closed his eyes. He did not care about the harassment from the beauties around him. Like a rock, he did not move an inch. His body started to circulate a mystical technique. He slowly accumulated it and finally released it all. Huh! Bird King shouted out loud. A strange circle of energy with him as the center rushed out in all directions. The moment the energy left his body, it released a loud sound. All the Ming Ying sect disciples who were still immersed in the paradise on earth were all awakened by the loud sound. All of them looked around in shock. What's going on? What happened to me? Where's the beauty just now? Beauty, don't go. There were still a few disciples who had not regained their senses. Bird King was enraged. He swung his hands and slapped the few followers. After a few slaps, he finally regained his senses. Everyone looked at the embroidery pavilion again. It was empty. Hu Qianmei was nowhere to be seen. Even the servant Ying Ying was nowhere to be seen. Shit, Hu Qianmei ran away. Bird King then reacted. His face changed. What? Protector Hu ran away? Quick, chase after her. The disciples shouted anxiously. I'll chase after her. Bird King clenched his teeth. He looked outside and said, all of you go and inform the other 3 heavenly kings. Get them to help me immediately. Remember, do not tell Protector Lu or the sect leader about this. Do you know? Wait for me to capture Hu Qianmei. Just pretend that this never happened. If the news of Hu Qianmei escaping were to spread, he, Bird King, would not be able to bear the consequences. While he could still make up for it, he naturally had to seize the opportunity to make up for it. Bird King did not hesitate. He immediately took action. He transformed into a gust of wind. He blew out of the embroidery pavilion and whizzed towards the outside. At that moment, at the edge of Ming Ying School, 2 figures were frantically escaping. Although Hu Qianmei's cultivation had been sealed and was only at the first stage of the spirit soul realm, her speed was not slow. Adding that she was at the edge of the embroidery pavilion, she quickly snuck out of Ming Ying School. Just that, the servant Ying was weak. It was difficult for her to keep up. Not long later, the profound spirit qi in her body was depleted. She could no longer run. Mississippi Miss, you run first. Don't worry about me. I can't run anymore. Ying gasped for breath. Seeing that, Hu Qianmei became anxious. Ying, quick, hold on a little longer. Follow me. If you stay here, you will definitely be captured by them. Most likely, you will be killed by them. We have to leave quickly. But I can't run anymore. Mississippi, if you can't run, I'll help you. Hu Qianmei extended her palm and gently patted Ying's chest. She directly injected profound spirit qi into Ying's body. After a while, Ying had recovered. Miss, although the sect took away my storage ring, it does not mean that I have no other methods. Let's go. Ying's eyes were filled with tears. She called out, Miss, you're the best. The two of them continued to run. Their speed was faster than cheetahs. The wind whistled past their ears. The scenery beside them quickly jumped behind them. In front of them was a rugged mountain road. As long as they passed through this mountain road, they would be out of Ying School's mountain range. After this mountain road, there will be a large stone forest. We can temporarily hide in the stone forest. Ying will be able to escape soon, Hu Qianmei said happily. Ying nodded, but the two of them did not have time to think. The mountain road in front of them suddenly flashed with a blue barrier. This barrier was like a wall. It completely sealed off the mountain road. What? Seeing that, Hu Qianmei turned pale with fright. This is the mountain protection barrier. Miss, not good. We have been discovered. Ying's face was pale white. Her body started to tremble. Hu Qianmei clenched her teeth. She stared at the blue barrier. Her eyes were filled with unwillingness. But with a clang sound, she pulled out the blood-red short sword from her waist and fiercely stabbed towards the barrier. Clang! The tip of the sword struck the barrier, causing it to tremble. Ripples appeared in all directions, but the barrier did not show any signs of damage. There was not even a single crack. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Hu Qianmei grabbed onto the blood-red short sword. She attacked the barrier crazily. Time after time, she used all of her strength. But no matter how crazy she was, no matter how hard she tried, she was unable to break it. Save your effort. Hu Qianmei protect her. Just then, a cold snort sounded out. A gust of wind blew from behind. It landed 50 meters behind Hu Qianmei. The gust of wind dispersed. Bird King appeared. Bird King! Hu Qianmei turned her head. Her charming eyes stared at him. Hu Qianmei protect her. Follow me back. Bird King said, Open the barrier. She gripped the red sword tightly and roared. Follow me back. Bird King snorted. If not, don't blame me for being impolite. If my cultivation was at its peak, would you dare to be so impudent in front of me? Quickly open the barrier. Hell, what a pity. Your cultivation has already been sealed. Now, you are weaker than me. Why should I look at your face? Hu Qianmei, calling you protector is giving you face. Do you really think you are someone important? In Ying's sect, you are nothing. Let me tell you, if you do not follow me back, I will tie you up. You dare? Why wouldn't I dare? Bird King seemed to have lost his patience. He bellowed. His body moved. He rushed towards Hu Qianmei. Miss, be careful. Ying shouted and immediately stood in front of Hu Qianmei. But Hu Qianmei's speed was even faster than her. She immediately flashed forward and grabbed her dagger and thrusted it towards Bird King. But how could the current her be Bird King's opponent? With a bang sound, Hu Qianmei's exquisite and petite body was directly sent flying, crashing onto the barrier. After that, she rolled down, opened her mouth, and spat out a bit of blood. It was obvious that she had suffered a loss. Miss! Ying shouted in panic. She immediately ran over and helped Hu Qianmei up. Ha 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 ha! Hu Qianmei, is that all you have? You have truly disappointed me. Bird King was extremely pleased. His eyes were filled with ridicule. He walked towards Hu Qianmei, and with his other hand, he touched his storage ring. Very quickly, he took out a bright white rope. The rope was as thick as 2 fingers. It was glowing. It was a treasure. Now, I should fulfill what I said before. Bird King's mouth curled into a sinister smile. He laughed. Asshole. Hu Qianmei's face was filled with unwillingness. Her anger was burning her heart. She held on to the red sword tightly. She planned to stand up and fight again. Kung Chong. Right at this moment, a strange sword howl resounded, and then a ray of black light shot down from the sky and stabbed diagonally towards them. Crack! The black light pierced through the barrier. With an unstoppable force, it directly tore it apart. Then, it fiercely stabbed in front of Bird King. Dong! The sword tip landed on the ground. Strength chi surged. Bird King was actually forced to retreat by the chi. He immediately stabilized his body. When he looked up, he saw a pitch-black sword in front of him. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.